Chapter 1589. Madame Qi couldn't win against Zhao Yuner, so she tugged at Zhu Daniu's sleeve and said, "Daniu, why buy this? It's 200 copper coins per caddy. We don't know how many caddies of meat we can buy with this. If we save this money, we can't buy any good food later. Qiao, don't let her do as she pleases." Zhu Daniu thought about it and agreed. It was a few copper coins per caddy. It was still possible to buy a caddy for Zhu Qiao. However, it was only a few hundred copper coins. How could it be worth it? Then don't buy it. Zhu Daniu said. Father. Qiao just wants to eat this. Originally, Zhu Daniu wanted to go along with Zhu Qiao. Since it was so expensive and Zhu Qiao was still making a fuss, Zhu Daniu lectured Zhu Qiao with a cold face. "Qiao, I'll give you whatever you want. As long as I can give it, I'll give it to you. However, this thing is very expensive. Why do you still want to eat it? Isn't it better to buy a few more caddies of meat later?" Zhu Qiao pursed her lips. Seeing San and Erhua eating happily, she swallowed a few mouthfuls of saliva. Zhu Qiao wasn't stupid. She knew how to read people's expressions. If Zhu Daniu didn't look good, he would definitely not agree to buy it for her. No matter how much she made a fuss, it would be useless. If she continued to make a fuss, she might even be beaten with a stick. "Father. You said that you have to buy meat for Qiao later." Zhu Qiao emphasized. She was afraid that Zhu Daniu would go back on his words. In the end, she wouldn't be able to eat the raspberries or the meat. Zhu Daniu nodded and said, "Okay, I'll definitely do what I promised Qiao. Madame Qi was excited when she heard that Zhu Daniu wanted to buy meat. She hadn't eaten meat for a while and was dying of hunger. She didn't expect to be able to eat it this time with Zhu Qiao's help. Seeing that Zhu Daniu didn't want to buy the raspberries, Zhao Yuner stopped arguing with him. She didn't stay at Mulan's house for long before leaving with Daodu. On the way back, Zhao Yuner put down the basket on her back and went to the third branch first. She would come back in the afternoon to prepare the remaining raspberries into raspberry jam. Xiao He also didn't know which corner it came out from. It came to Zhao Yun and turned around. Zhao Yuner noticed something unusual about Little Black and asked, "Little Black, what's wrong?" Little Black barked a few times and wagged its tail even more vigorously, becoming even more clingy towards her. Zhao Yun didn't understand dog language, so she couldn't understand Blackie's words. Okay, Little Black, don't stick to me. I have to go to my mother's place," Zhao Yun said. However, Xiao He continued to pester Zhao Yuner, refusing to let Zhao Yuner leave. Zhao Yuner was very puzzled. Xiao He's behavior seemed to be because of something. "Little Black, let's go together. Tian is still at my mother's place. I don't know how Tian is now. I have to go and take a look." Seeing that it couldn't stop Zhao Yuner, Xiao He felt a little guilty and seemed disappointed. Zhao Yuner frowned and wondered if something had happened. Xiao He's reaction was strange. "Little Black, aren't you going?" Zhao Yuner called out. Xiao He lay on the ground and whimpered a few times, but didn't get up. Zhao Yuner sighed. "Okay, then you don't have to go. I'm going. I'll bring you some food later. You can stay at home and accompany Xiao Mao." "Woo." Xiao He continued to whimper. Zhao Yuner sighed and left with Daodu. She wondered if Xiao He was sick. Chapter 1590. It was not like in the 21st century, where dogs could be taken to a pet hospital. Zhao Yun was going to wait and see. Maybe Little He was fine. Little He was not an ordinary dog. It should not be so fragile. It was not until Zhao Yun brought Daoda to the third branch that she understood why Little He did not follow. It turned out that it knew that it had done something bad and was afraid of being punished, so it simply avoided it. Zhao Yun sighed helplessly. This Little He was really smarter than humans. Once they arrived at old Zhao's house, Feng Zhangxia saw Zhao Yun coming over. She pulled Zhao Yun aside and told her about what had happened in old Zhao's house just now. After Zhao Yun heard it, she was a little stunned. Her family's little He was really brave. A dog that had not fully grown up actually beat up both Zhao Ping and Zhao Wenshui. However, Zhao Yun happened to hate these two people. It was good that little He taught them a lesson this time. Let these two people suffer, otherwise, they would be so lively on normal days. At this time, Liang Jinxiao also came out of the house. She sighed in front of Zhao Yun and said a lot of things. The meaning of his words revealed that he was worried about Zhao Ping and blamed little He. Zhao Yun was very clear about little He. As long as it was not provoked, little He would never bite people. Since it bit Zhao Ping it must be Zhao Ping who did something. So when Liang Jinxiao scolded little He, Zhao Yun did not listen at all. Yun, your family's little He is very fierce. It is more dangerous now. You'd better buy a chain to tie it up. Otherwise, it will not be good if it hurts others. After all, Ping is one of us. If she's injured, no one will pursue the matter. Liang Jinxiao reminded. Zhao Yun pursed her lips and faintly replied, Mother, I think my little black is quite good. It hasn't bitten anyone for so long. Normally, the people bitten by little black were definitely not good people. This time, it's probably Sister Ping who provoked little black, right? Liang Jinxiao sighed. Actually, Ping didn't do anything. Xiao He is too hot-tempered. He's only targeting Ping Zhao Yun snorted, Mother, don't think that little black is just a dog, it's actually very smart. He understood everything you said. Ping didn't do anything. Did she say anything? Liang Jinxiao frowned. I don't think so, no. Mother, that's impossible. Out of so many people, my little black didn't bite, but he insisted on Ping I don't believe it. Seeing that Zhao Yun was completely protecting little black, and then thinking about it, Zhao Ping did say that she wanted to skin little black and eat dog meat, and Zhao Yun hit little black first. Little black resisted. Liang Jinxiao felt guilty and didn't say anything else. Whether little black was punished or not, it was still up to Zhao Ping to decide. Let Zhao Ping make a fuss. She was in the middle, so it wasn't easy for her to mediate this matter. At this moment, Zhao Ping was lying miserably in the third room. Zhao Yun didn't even look at her. Instead, she walked to the cradle, picked up Tian Tian from the cradle, and coaxed Tian Tian gently. Tian Tian, Zhao Yun called. Tian Tian giggled, revealing a sweet smile. The pink and tender baby melted Zhao Yun's heart. Zhao Yun hugged Tian Tian and swayed a few times. Chapter 1591. Mother, Zhao Ping was injured now and her body was very weak. It was very difficult for her to even speak loudly. Liang Jinxiao heard Zhao Ping's call and hurriedly responded. Ping, what's wrong? Mother, is Zhao Yun back? Hurry up and ask her to come in and give me a proper explanation. Liang Jinxiao frowned and hurriedly responded. Then, he said to Zhao Yun, Yun, do you want to go in and have a word with Ping, Zhao Yun, felt that it was very ironic. Ask her for an explanation. What kind of explanation could she give? This matter was clearly Zhao Ping's fault. Was she supposed to apologize or compensate her? Or hand little black over to Zhao Ping, for her to deal with? These were all impossible. Zhao Yun was a person who would protect her own. Since little black was her dog, no one could touch a single strand of little black's fur. Thus, Zhao Yun calmly replied to Liang Jinxiao, Mother, what do you want me to say to Sister Ping? Say. Liang Jinxiao stuttered at Zhao Yun's question. He didn't know how to answer Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun curled her lips and chuckled. Mother, since there's nothing to say, then I won't go in. Liang Jinxiao was a little anxious for a moment. Given Zhao Ping's condition, she couldn't get angry. The more Zhao Yun refused to go in and didn't say anything, the more Zhao Ping would make a fuss. It wouldn't be good if her injuries were to worsen. Zhao Yun ignored Liang Jinxiao and played with Tian Tian instead. Because the child was well nourished, the meat on her face was increasing day by day. She was as chubby as a doll. Seeing that Zhao Yun was taking a long time to come in, Zhao Ping impatiently urged her again. Liang Jinxiao sighed and entered the room of the third branch. Zhao Ping heard Liang Jinxiao's words and got up from the bed a little angrily. Mother, if that B*TCH doesn't come in, I'll go out and reason with her. Liang Jinxiao hurriedly stopped Zhao Ping. Ping, you're still seriously. Listen to me, let's forget about this matter. Anyway, we won't be able to reason with her. After all, Little Black is a dog. How can we blame a dog for what it did? Animals don't understand human nature. We can't argue with animals, right? Zhao Ping shook her head. Mother, you're wrong. Zhao Ping's dog doesn't understand human nature. It's even more shrewd than humans. It deliberately wanted to bite me and made me like this. Anyway, I have to skin that damn dog and eat its meat. But you're seriously injured now. Why don't you wait until you're better before talking to Yun about this matter? Why don't you rest well now? No. Mother, I have to go now. You see, isn't Zhao Yun too much? I'm so seriously injured that I almost couldn't keep the child in my belly. Is it possible that I'm worse than a dog? What right does she have to treat me like this? Even if she wants to reason with Li Zheng, it's her fault. Liang Jinxiao was very tired. No matter what she said or did now, it wouldn't please her two daughters. Since Zhao Ping was so insistent, Liang Jinxiao could only let Zhao Ping do as she pleased. All right. Little Ping, even if you want to go out, you should be careful. Don't hurt yourself. Got it. Zhao Ping replied impatiently and then slowly walked out of the room. Chapter 1592. Zhao Yun, UB*TCH, how can you bully people like this? Look at what your dog has done to me. Hurry up and hand over Little Black. I'm going to kill that damn dog of yours. Zhao Yun curled her lips and looked at Zhao Ping's angry face. What do you mean I'll hand it over or not? If you want to settle the score with Little Black, you can do it yourself. Zhao Yun replied indifferently and did not even look at Zhao Ping as she continued to play with Tian Tian in her arms. Zhao Ping was almost angered to death by Zhao Yun. This B*TCH said this because she was sure that she would not be able to find Little Black. Anyway, I don't care. Zhao Yun, you have to hand over Little Black to me. Look at the injuries on my body, you have to compensate me properly, right? Including the child that I almost miscarried, you have to compensate me at least 10 taels of silver. Zhao Yun's lips curled up and the smile on her lips was mysterious and unfathomable, making people puzzled. 10 taels of silver. So much. 10 taels of silver was enough to live a good life in the countryside. This Zhao Ping was really demanding an exorbitant price. Zhao Ping said angrily, is 10 taels of silver a lot? Zhao Yun, don't go too far. Is the child in my belly not worth 10 taels of silver? It's indeed not worth it. You're too much. Zhao Ping pointed at Zhao Yun and scolded her with gritted teeth. Sister Ping, I didn't hurt you. If you want compensation, you can talk to my Little Black. If you want to argue, you can talk to my Little Black. I didn't ask Little Black to do it, so I won't be responsible for the money. After all, even if I sold Little Black, it wouldn't be worth so much money. Zhao Yun chuckled. She knew that Zhao Yun couldn't do anything to Little Black. Indeed, Zhao Ping didn't even know where little Hay was. What could she do with little Hay? This is too much. Mother, why don't you speak up for me? Zhao Ping looked at Liang Jinxiao for help. Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Yun's expression and did not dare to say anything. Seeing that Liang Jinxiao remained silent, Zhao Ping became even angrier. She was most afraid of dealing with unreasonable people. Now that Zhao Yun'er was being unreasonable with her, she had no choice. Zhao Ping hurriedly supported Liang Jinxiao as his body could not hold on any longer. Okay, Zhao Yun'er, just you wait. If I catch Little Black one day, I will definitely kill it. After saying that, with Liang Jinxiao's help, Zhao Ping returned to the third branch's room. Zhao Yun'er only felt that it was ridiculous. If Zhao Ping could really catch Little Black, she would not be tortured so miserably by Little Black. Although Little Black did hit her hard this time, there was no need to be soft-hearted when dealing with AB*TCH. Little Black really did it better than her. The third branch was annoyed. As long as Zhao Ping came back, Zhao Yun'er would be angered once. Her mother was fine in other aspects. The only bad thing was that she could not bear to part with Zhao Ping and cared too much about her. Otherwise, she should not care about a daughter like Zhao Ping. Zhao Yun'er's eyes turned and thought about whether there was any way to make Liang Jinxiao be cruel to Zhao Ping and stop caring about Zhao Ping. The way to make Liang Jinxiao be cruel was to make Liang Jinxiao feel bitterly disappointed and realize that he had raised an ingrate. Otherwise, it would all be in vain. Chapter 1593. With these worries in mind, Zhao Yun returned to her little thatched hut and used the afternoon to make raspberry jam. Raspberry jam wasn't difficult to make. She just added some white sugar, boiled it in a pot, and then mashed it. This way, she could eat it for a few more days. For a child like Daodu, it could be used as a snack. Zhao Yun remembered that she liked to spread this jam on bread when she was young. It was especially delicious. However, there were too few fruits in this era. Otherwise, it wouldn't be bad to make some strawberry jam or blueberry jam. After Zhao Yun finished, she took a small spoon and scooped up a spoonful of raspberry jam and brought it to Daodu's mouth. Here, try it. See if mother's jam is delicious. Daodu obediently took a bite. His face was full of satisfaction, and his eyes narrowed into crescents. Mother, it's very delicious. This way, it's sweeter than eating it directly. Zhao Yun smiled and patted Daodu's head. Of course. I added some white sugar, so it's naturally sweeter. Mother made a lot for Daodu. These are all in these small bottles. If Daodu wants to eat, make some for yourself. Okay, Mother. Daodu understands. Then, can Daodu help you take care of little sister now? Mother, go and get some fertilizer for the vegetable garden. If something happens to little sister, come and call Mother, okay? Daodu patted his chest. Mother, of course. Leave it to Daodu. Daodu will definitely take care of little sister. Zhao Yun touched Daodu's smooth face, and a satisfied smile appeared on her lips. It was good to have a sensible son. Tian had just been breastfed and was lying quietly in the cradle. Although she didn't fall asleep, she didn't disturb Zhao Yun either. Her well-behaved appearance made one's heart ache. Actually, Daodu didn't really need to take care of anything. It was Daodu who was there to prevent any accidents from happening. Before Zhao Yun'er left, Daodu brought out a small stool and sat in front of Tiantian's cradle. He ate the raspberry jam that Zhao Yun'er had just made and glanced at Tian from time to time. Zhao Yun'er was relieved. She went to the wooden shed and took out a bucket of manure. Then, she took out some manure to fertilize the vegetables in the vegetable garden. Unlike the 21st century, there were no organic fertilizers in ancient times, only human feces or animal feces. However, compared to the 21st century, the vegetables in ancient times tasted much more delicious after being fertilized with manure. It's just that the process of fertilizing makes people feel a little smelly. Zhao Yun endured the smell and hurriedly continued to fertilize. She fertilized all the vegetables in the small vegetable garden. Dao Du looked after Tian Tian like a warm little brother. Perhaps it was because she had slept for too long, but Tian Tian lay in the cradle and stared at Dao Du. She didn't feel sleepy at all. Dao Du saw that Tian Tian wasn't sleeping, so he teased her. "What's wrong, Tian Tian? Why aren't you sleeping today?" Tian Tian's mouth made a few sounds. Looking at Tian Tian's cute little face, Dao Du frowned. Tian Tian couldn't speak, so he didn't know what Tian Tian was trying to say. "Little sister Tian Tian, are you not feeling well?" Blah blah, Tian Tian's lips moved as if she wanted to say something. Chapter 1594. Blah, 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 Tian Tian made this sound again, but her little mouth was open. Seeing Tian Tian like this, Dao Du felt more and more that Tian Tian wanted to eat the raspberry jam in his hand. Dao Du's delicate eyebrows slightly furrowed. She pondered whether Tian Tian, such a small child, could eat jam. Looking at Tian Tian's expectant eyes, and seeing how delicious the raspberry jam was, he felt a little embarrassed if he didn't give it to Tian Tian. After all, good things should be shared with a little sister. This raspberry jam wasn't something that could be swallowed in one's mouth. If Tian Tian ate it, it wouldn't be much of a problem. With this thought, Dao Du picked up a spoon, dipped it in a little bit of raspberry jam, and put it to Tian Tian's lips. The child smelled the fruity fragrance and seemed to like it very much. She quickly licked it with her little tongue and rolled the raspberry jam into her mouth. After the raspberry jam on the spoon was finished, Tian Tian made a ya sound. Seeing Tian Tian smile, Dao Du knew that Tian Tian really liked it. Tian Tian's little mouth continued to open, and she motioned for Dao Du to feed her more. Seeing Tian Tian's tender and cute appearance, Dao Du couldn't refuse. He could only get another spoonful of raspberry jam and slowly feed it to her. The child seemed to like the taste and felt that it tasted better than goat's milk. Dao Du fed it for a while, but Tian Tian didn't seem to have any intention of stopping. She still opened her mouth to eat. Dao Du sighed and educated Tian Tian, "Little sister Tian Tian, you've already eaten a lot. You can't eat any more. Otherwise, if mother finds out, she'll definitely scold me. If you really want to eat, I'll secretly feed you next time when I have the chance." Tian Tian seemed to understand Dao Du's words. Her eyes revealed a trace of grievance, but she didn't continue to open her mouth to eat. Dao Du looked at Tian Tian with satisfaction and said to Tian Tian, "Little sister Tian Tian, you're so obedient." As he spoke, Dao Du touched Tian Tian's little face lovingly. Then, he leaned down and kissed Tian Tian's little face. The milky fragrance of the baby was mixed with the fruity aroma of raspberries. It was a very pleasant smell. "Little sister Tian Tian, you smell so good." "Yeah, Tian Tian replied. Although he didn't understand what Tian Tian was saying, Dao Du could roughly guess that Tian Tian was happy at this moment. Zhao Yun returned to Dao Du's side after applying the fertilizer. She put down the bucket of manure, but she smelled a little bad. She had to boil some water, take a good bath, and change her clothes. "Dao Du, did Tian Tian cause any trouble? Are you asleep?" Zhao Yun'er asked casually. Dao Du shook his head. "No, mother, Tian Tian isn't asleep, but Tian Tian isn't making a fuss either. She's very obedient." Hearing Dao Du's words, Zhao Yun smiled and replied, "That's good." She glanced at the cradle. The little girl was indeed not asleep. She was looking around with her eyes wide open. She didn't know what she was looking at, but she looked very cute. When she caught a glimpse of something red at the corner of Tian Tian's mouth, Zhao Yun took a closer look. When she saw that it was raspberry jam, she asked Dao Du, "Did you feed your little sister raspberry jam?" Dao Du lowered his head, seemingly a little guilty. He stammered, "Mother, no. Dao Du was afraid that Zhao Yun would scold him if she found out. He didn't know whether the situation was serious or not, so he didn't dare to admit it. Chapter 1595. Zhao Yun squatted down and asked Daodu, "Daodu, did you give the little sister jam or not?" Daodu stammered and didn't answer. He lowered his head even more and didn't dare to look at Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun patiently said, "Daodu, you know that mother doesn't like children who lie, and she also doesn't like cowards who don't dare to admit their mistakes." After hearing Zhao Yun's words, Daodu raised his head and said to Zhao Yun, with some grievance, "Mother." Daodu saw that the little sister wanted to eat, so I gave her some jam. "Mother." Daodu was wrong. "Mother, please don't be angry at Daodu, okay?" Seeing Daodu's wronged little face and the pleading and guilty look in his eyes, Zhao Yun couldn't bear to be angry at Daodu. He was just a child, and it was fine as long as he knew his mistakes. Zhao Yun preferred to patiently teach her children the principles of how to behave, rather than using corporal punishment to teach her children. Thus, she softly said to Daodu, "Since Daodu knows his mistake, then mother will no longer blame Daodu. This is the first time Daodu has lied and made a mistake. Mother can forgive him, but you can't do it again." "Yes, yes." Daodu nodded heavily, as if he was assuring Zhao Yun, "The little sister is so small, it's best not to give her jam." Zhao Yun warned. After all, a baby's intestines were different from an ordinary person's. Who knew if something bad would happen from eating jam? If Tian Tian had a stomachache, it wouldn't be a small matter, so it was best not to let Tian Tian eat it. The little child was very fragile, and Zhao Yun didn't want anything to happen later, lest she regretted it and worry. Daodu responded, but pouted and said, "Mother, Tian Tian likes it very much. Are we really not giving it to Tian Tian? It shouldn't hurt to eat a little, right? Let's see if Tian Tian has a stomachache today. If she doesn't have a stomachache today, it means that she's fine. Next time, we can feed her less. But if she has a stomachache, it means that she can't eat. She has to grow up a little." Daodu felt that what Zhao Yun said made a lot of sense. He hoped that Tian Tian wouldn't have a stomachache so that he could continue to feed Tian Tian some jam. Zhao Yun hadn't rested for long when she saw Mu Yanfeng coming back from the mountain with a heavy heart. Zhao Yun called him a few times, but Mu Yanfeng did not respond. It was not until she patted Mu Yanfeng that Mu Yanfeng seemed to be pulled back to reality. It was obvious that something was wrong. Zhao Yun asked, "What's wrong with Mu Yanfeng? Did something happen?" Mu Yanfeng hesitated, wondering if he should tell Zhao Yun. But he was afraid that if he told Zhao Yun, it would make Zhao Yun worry and give Zhao Yun more trouble. As if she had guessed Mu Yanfeng's thoughts, Zhao Yun said softly, "Mu Yanfeng, if there's anything, you can tell me. There's no need to hide it from me. If you encounter any difficulties, the two of us can work together to find a solution. There's no need for you to carry everything alone. It's always better for two people to find a solution than one." After Zhao Yun's persuasion, Mu Yanfeng told her about what happened on the mountain. The situation was indeed worrying. In the past 2 days, for some reason, the workers who went to work had inexplicably disappeared. They couldn't be found. Chapter 1596. They had not found the missing people, but more and more of them continued to disappear. The workers who had come to work were all at the bottom of the food chain. Although their lives were worthless in the eyes of the government, they were still human lives. Who knew what danger they had encountered and whether they were still alive? Mu Yanfeng was extremely worried because of this matter. The workers in the mountains had already begun to panic. They said that there were monsters in the mountains that specialized in catching people to eat. At night, there would be ghostly howls. Mu Yanfeng sent people to look for them, but unfortunately, the mountains were very deep. They failed to find anything, which made the panicking people even more frantic. Since they could not be found and had not returned, it was extremely likely that they were dead. Mu Yanfeng had Mo Yen count the number of people who had gone missing. There were over a dozen people in total. The lives of over a dozen people were no small matter. He had to get to the bottom of this as soon as possible, or he would not be able to explain himself. And, the workers began to make a ruckus. Compared to making money, they cared more about their lives. The main problem they faced right now was that they had no idea where to start investigating. They had no idea how these people had disappeared. What was so powerful that it could take people away silently? They could not find them at all. In order to prevent more accidents from happening, Mu Lianfeng had Mo Yan arrange for the workers to not go out at night. They all had to stay in their tents. Basically, the people who had gone missing had gone out alone or in groups of 2 or 3. Zhao Yun became rather curious when she heard Mu Lianfeng's words. Why was that? Could it only mean that there was something in the mountains? There were many animals in the mountains, and many of them were cannibals. If some large animal had taken people away and eaten them, it could be explained. However, this meant that the workers in the mountains were in even greater danger. Who could deal with a beast if they came across one? Zhao Yun thought about how Mu Lianfeng went up and down the mountains every day. She could not help but worry for Mu Lianfeng. What would she do if something happened to Mu Lianfeng? It's less likely that someone did this. In my opinion, there might be some kind of animal in the mountains, said Zhao Yun. Animals? Mu Lianfeng raised his eyebrows and asked Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun nodded and replied, yes. For example, tigers, lions, jackals, wolves, and leopards. They are all very fierce and like to eat meat. Those people might have been eaten by them. When Mu Lianfeng heard Zhao Yun's words, he felt a chill in his heart. If it was really as Zhao Yun said, then wouldn't the disappearance of the dozen or so people be extremely miserable? Wouldn't they be eaten by those tigers and leopards until not even their bones were left? Actually, it's not very difficult to find out if it's these wolves, tigers, and leopards. There's no need to use human lives to test it. I do have a method. Zhao Yun blinked. After thinking of the method, her whole eyes shone brightly. It was very charming. Mu Lianfeng's curiosity was aroused by Zhao Yun. His Yun was so smart. Her brain was flexible and useful. She could think of any method very quickly. She was definitely the most intelligent woman he had ever seen. It's naturally very dangerous to test it on people, but these wolves, tigers, and leopards are for meat. Let's test it on a pig. Chapter 1597. After listening to Zhao Yun's idea, Mu Lianfeng felt that it was very good. Why didn't she think of it? Zhao Yun said it well, and the feasibility was very strong. It was worth it to use the pig as a primer without risking human lives. It would also be useful for him to find out whether it was done by wolves, tigers, leopards, or humans. If it was not done by humans, it would be easy to deal with. He just had to get rid of this strange thing. If it was done by humans, he had to continue to investigate, which was a little more troublesome. Yun, where are we going to buy a pig now? Mu Lianfeng asked. Pork was easier to buy, but it should be more difficult to buy a whole live pig. Zhao Yun thought for a while. There seemed to be several families in the village who raised pigs. It would just cost more to buy the whole pig. She would ask later, and she should be able to find the family who sold the pig. Leave the matter of buying the pig to me. You don't have to worry. Zhao Yun patted Mu Lianfeng's shoulder. Mu Lianfeng saw Zhao Yun's confident look, and his frowning brows finally relaxed. It was a great honor for him to have such a virtuous wife like Zhao Yun. With Zhao Yun around, Mu Lianfeng found that his heart calmed down a lot, and his previous anxiety disappeared. Zhao Yun saw Mu Lianfeng's tired face, so she asked Mu Lianfeng to take a rest quickly. She ran to the village for a walk and asked if there was a family who sold pigs. After asking in the village, although there were a lot of people who raised pigs, there was only one family who was willing to sell a big pig. After all, it was not cost-effective to sell a small pig. When it grew up and gained more weight, the price would be much higher. Zhao Yun had to go to the family who was willing to sell the pig. Coincidentally, this family belonged to Ma Xiaofeng's third uncle and third aunt. After Zhao Yuner explained her intention to buy a pig, the third branch of the Ma family agreed, although they didn't understand the purpose of Zhao Yuner buying a pig. After all, they also wanted to sell the pigs. Now that Zhao Yuner came to buy the pigs, it saved them the trouble of calling the butcher over. As long as they could get the money, it was fine. As for the price of the pork, Zhao Yuner didn't calculate with the third branch of the Ma family, but she also didn't let the third branch of the Ma family take advantage of her. A caddy of pork was sold at the market for 13 to 14 copper coins per caddy. Excluding the worthless bones and intestines, the whole pig was sold for 8 copper coins per caddy. A pig weighed about 200 caddies. In other words, it would cost less than 2 taels of silver to buy. The price was not very expensive. After discussing the price with the third branch of the Ma family, Zhao Yuner said, "Okay, you go and prepare to weigh it. I'll go back and get the money. I'll come back later to collect the pig." Ma Xiaofeng's third aunt, Madame Xiang, smiled and said, "Okay, okay, okay. Yuner girl, go back and get the money. We'll help you weigh it. We definitely won't underweight it." "That's good." Zhao Yun nodded and turned to walk in the direction of her home. After Zhao Yuner walked away, Madame Xiang hurriedly urged her husband, Ma Wenhui, "I say, husband, quickly feed the pig something to eat." Ma Wenhui asked with a puzzled expression, "What should we feed the pig now? Aren't we going to sell it soon?" Chapter 1598. Ma Wenhui felt that Madame Xiang's words made sense, but he was used to being honest, so he frowned and said, "That's not good. We can't feed the pigs overnight when we sell them. Otherwise, when the butcher kills the pigs and cuts open their stomachs, he won't buy them anymore if he sees food in their stomachs. Although we don't know why Zhao Yuner bought our pigs, what if she sells them to another butcher and they come to find trouble with us?" Seeing Ma Wenhui's indecisiveness, Madame Xiang snorted and said, "What does that have to do with anything? Didn't we just buy our pigs today? So what if you say that you fed them in the morning? Can't you use your brain a little and think about it? You really don't know how to make money. Let's feed them 2 or 3 caddies of wild vegetable bran and earn a few dozen copper coins." Ma Wenhui could only let Madame Xiang do as she said. "All right, then hurry up and feed them. Otherwise, Zhao Yuner won't be able to feed them when she comes." Madame Xiang poked Ma Wenhui and said, "Didn't I ask you to go over? Why are you ordering me around?" Ma Wenhui pursed his lips and said, "Why are you so lazy? Women do all the work in other families, but you like to order me around." Madame Xiang said carelessly, "It's my duty to order you around. After all, I came up with the idea of making money, not you." Ma Wenhui found that he couldn't argue with Madame Xiang. This woman had too many reasons. To put it bluntly, she was too lazy and pushed everything to him. Ma Wenhui was too lazy to argue with Madame Xiang. He was afraid of wasting time, so he hurriedly got some pig food and urged the pigs to eat quickly. However, what Ma Wenhui and Madame Xiang didn't know was that their conversation was heard by Mulan, who was passing by. Mulan couldn't help but curse in her heart. How could these two be so shameless? They specially cheated others and took advantage of them. Wasn't it just a few dozen copper coins? Was it necessary to do this? They didn't follow the rules at all. Thinking that Zhao Yuner might be at a disadvantage, Mulan prepared to tell Zhao Yuner about this matter. She left the house of the third branch of the Ma family and walked in the direction of Zhao Yuner's house. Before they arrived at Zhao Yuner's house, Zhao Yuner had already come out of the house, and the two of them happened to bump into each other. Zhao Yuner smiled and greeted Mulan, "Sister-in-law Mulan, are you here to look for me? What's the matter?" Mulan frowned and went to Zhao Yuner to ask, "Yuner, are you going to buy pigs from the third branch of the Ma family?" Zhao Yuner nodded and replied, "Yes, sister-in-law Mulan, how did you know?" Mulan sighed and told Zhao Yuner what happened just now. Zhao Yuner couldn't help but be a little angry when she heard it. Doing business was about honesty. How could the third branch of the Ma family do it? It was obvious that they deliberately cheated her. Although she didn't care about a few dozen copper coins, she couldn't treat people like fools. Therefore, Zhao Yun'er wouldn't take this loss for nothing. So she said to Mulan, "Sister-in-law Mulan, thank you for telling me this. I will argue with them when I go over later." "Okay, I was just afraid that you would be at a disadvantage. I just happened to hear it, so I couldn't help but tell you that there's no need to thank me. Yun'er, you can go. If there's nothing else, I'll go back first." "Okay, sister-in-law Mulan." After parting with Mulan, Zhao Yun'er angrily walked towards the third branch of the Ma family. Chapter 1599. By the time Zhao Yun'er arrived at Ma Wenhui's house, Ma Wenhui had already finished feeding the pig. When he saw Zhao Yun'er coming over, his eyes were a little flustered. It was obvious that he had a guilty conscience. Fortunately, Mulan had told her in advance. Otherwise, she would not have been able to discover that Wu Wenhui was feeding the pig. Madame Xiang looked at her man in disappointment. He had done something bad, but he had a guilty conscience. Wasn't it easy for others to see through him? If only he was half as shrewd as her. When Zhao Yun'er arrived at her courtyard, Madame Xiang forced a smile and said to Zhao Yun'er, lass, it's better to weigh my pig in front of you." Zhao Yun'er smiled coldly. Madame Xiang was puzzled by Zhao Yun'er's reaction. She frowned and asked, "Lass, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you saying anything?" Zhao Yun'er stared at the pig and curled her lips. There was food stuck to the pig's mouth. "Auntie Wu, why did you feed the pig while I was getting the money?" Madame Xiang was stunned. She did not expect Zhao Yun'er to have such good eyesight. Zhao Yun'er actually discovered it. After being stunned for a moment, Madame Xiang felt that she still could not admit it. If she did, wouldn't she be slapping herself in the face? Her lips twitched stiffly. "Yun'er lass, what are you saying? When did I feed the pig?" Madame Xiang poked Ma Wenhui as she spoke. Ma Wenhui had wanted to admit it out of guilt, but after being poked by Madame Xiang, he realized that Madame Xiang wanted him to deny it no matter what. Yes, lass, when did we feed the pig?" Zhao Yun'er glanced at the couple and snorted coldly. "No." "Then what's with the food around the pig's mouth?" "This. Didn't I feed you this morning? That bastard doesn't know how to wipe his mouth, so he left it by his mouth." Madame Xiang pursed her lips and continued to quibble. Sure enough, talking to a thick-skinned person was like this. He completely refused to admit it even if you beat him to death. Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but feel a little disgusted. If it weren't for the fact that there were no other pig sellers in the village, he would definitely not buy Ma Wenhui's pigs. "But I didn't see it when I came over just now. How come you have the time to take the money? And looking at the chaff, it's still moist. It should have just been stirred not long ago. How could it be this morning?" Zhao Yun'er deliberately said this, with the intention of blasting Ma Wenhui and his wife. As expected, when Ma Wenhui and his wife heard this, their faces turned ugly. Even if he wanted to quibble, he had no reason to do so. "Uncle Wu, Auntie Wu, doing business is all about honesty. Since you sold the pig to me, I'll give you as much as I deserve. But you can't cheat me like this. This meal of pig food will probably add 2 or 3 caddies to it, right?" Madame Xiang smiled embarrassedly, not knowing how to answer. It would have been fine if she hadn't been caught, but now that Zhao Yun'er had caught her, she couldn't help but feel very awkward. Ma Wenhui immediately apologized. "Alas, this is our fault. If you can't do it, just deduct 2 or 3 caddies of money." Madame Xiang seemed a little unhappy. She tugged at Ma Wenhui and said, "If you deduct 2 or 3 caddies, we'll lose a lot of money. This is our fault after all. What else is there to say? If they don't buy it, we won't be able to sell it at this price even if we find a butcher." Chapter 1600. Every year, when his family sold pigs, there would be a lot of trouble. Now that they could sell the whole pig to Zhao Yun'er, it was both profitable and worry-free for their family. Therefore, Madame Xiang did not say anything and let Ma Wenhui say whatever he wanted. Anyway, she could not bring herself to apologize to Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun saw that Ma Wenhui was honest and took the initiative to get rid of the extra 2 to 3 caddies of chaff. She nodded and said, "Okay, I'll continue to buy this pig. First, weigh it and deduct 3 caddies of weight." "Okay." Ma Wenhui answered straightforwardly. The pig weighed 218 caddies in total, so the price was 215 caddies. Zhao Yun paid and took Ma Wenhui's pig back. It was the first time that Zhao Yun had contact with a live pig. She tied a rope to the pig's head and led it forward. However, she did not know if the pig's brain was stupid, but Zhao Yun had some difficulty pulling the pig. Sometimes, the pig would stop moving. Zhao Yun had to hit it a few times with a stick before the pig could move again. On the way, many people saw the pig in Zhao Yun's hands and covered their mouths to laugh. After tossing and turning for a long time, Zhao Yun finally brought the pig home and tied it in the wooden shed. Mu Yanfeng took a nap and just woke up. Seeing that Zhao Yun had brought the pig back, he walked to Zhao Yun and said to Zhao Yun, "Thank you for your hard work." Zhao Yun waved her hand and said, "It's okay, it's not hard at all." "Yun, it's good to have you." Mu Yanfeng sighed. "Don't be so polite with me. Now that the pig is back, we can try bringing it up the mountain tonight." Mu Yanfeng nodded. It was better to try it as soon as possible and find out the truth as soon as possible. It was good for understanding the real situation. "Okay, then I'll go tonight." Mu Yanfeng glanced at the pig he bought and said, "Mu Yanfeng, let me accompany you tonight." Zhao Yun'er was afraid that something would happen to Mu Yanfeng. 2 people were better than 1. He felt more at ease staying by Mu Yanfeng's side. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't be able to sleep tonight. Mu Yanfeng frowned and said, "Yun'er, it's very dangerous. You'd better be safe at home." Zhao Yun'er insisted, "It's because it's dangerous that I want to go with you. Mu Yanfeng, if we have something to do, we can't be separated." Mu Yanfeng sighed slightly. He knew that Zhao Yun'er usually wouldn't change her mind easily. Since Zhao Yun'er insisted, he would let Zhao Yun'er go. However, he would never let Zhao Yun'er get involved in dangerous things. If it really came, he would come down from the tree and deal with it alone. "Okay, then let's go together." "Okay." Zhao Yun'er nodded heavily. Zhao Yun'er didn't go to the 3rd branch for dinner. She knew that Zhao Ping'er must still be in the 3rd branch, so she was very upset and didn't want to see that idiot again. However, the reality was just as Zhao Yun'er expected. Zhao Ping'er was tormented like this and couldn't go back. Liang Jinxiao asked someone to pass a message to the family Qin. During this time, Zhao Ping'er would stay in the 3rd branch until she recovered. After all, it was much better for Zhao Ping'er to stay in the 3rd branch than in the family Qin. No matter how good the family Qin was, it was still the in-laws' family. How could it be better than the maternal family's care? Chapter 1601. Zhao Yun'er was originally curious as to why Little Black had suddenly slipped away in the afternoon. Only now did he come back. Because of what Little Black had done to Zhao Ping'er, Little Black was probably afraid. He was afraid that Zhao Yun would come back and scold him, so he slipped away. Even his shadow could not be seen in the afternoon. Zhao Yun walked in front of Xiao He and said to Xiao He, "What happened to you? Why are you injured so badly?" Little Black wagged his tail and handed the pheasant in his mouth to Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er took the pheasant and looked at the wounds on Little Black's body. Her brows were tightly knitted together and she was extremely worried. Little Black stuck out his tongue and licked Zhao Yun'er's hand a few times. Zhao Yun'er's heart ached even more. Zhao Yun'er guessed that Little Black must have felt that he had made a mistake. In order to make up for his mistake, he ran up the mountain to get a pheasant back to please her. But who would have thought that he would get injured on a trip up the mountain? She looked at the wounds on Little Black's body. They were bitten very deeply. At this moment, blood was still flowing out. Little Black's fur was stained with blood. Just looking at it made her feel unbearably painful. Zhao Yun's heart clenched. She touched Little Black's head and could not help but scold, "Little Black, you didn't do anything wrong. I won't blame you, so you don't have to be like this. Look at you, you're injured. Aren't you afraid that my heart will ache to death?" As Zhao Yun spoke, she touched Little Black's head and motioned for Little Black to lie down. It was not easy for Little Black to come back in such a situation. Both of his legs were trembling. It looked like the situation was quite bad. Fortunately, she had prepared some Jinchuang medicine at home. It was Mu Lianfeng's medicine and it was very effective in stopping the bleeding. Zhao Yun hurriedly took out the Jinchuang medicine and poured it on Little Black's wound. After a while, the bleeding on Little Black's wound stopped. However, Xiao Hei's injuries were not light. He lay on the ground and soon closed his eyes. Daodu almost cried when he saw Little Black's expression. "Mother, what's wrong with Little Black? Will Little Black die?" Zhao Yun'er frowned. He had suffered such a serious injury and lost so much blood. Although the bleeding had stopped now, Zhao Yun'er was not sure whether Little Hei was all right or not. She could only pray that Little Hei was fine in her heart. Facing Daodu, Zhao Yun could only comfort him. "Nyangqin's bleeding has been stopped by Little Black, there shouldn't be any problem. Let Little Black rest for a while." The tears in Daodu's eyes slowly receded. "Mother, is that true? Will Little Black really be all right?" "Don't worry, with Mother here, I won't let anything happen to Little Black." "Yes, yes." Daodu nodded heavily. Then, she squatted down and stroked Little Black's head a few times. "Little Black, nothing must happen to you. Daodu still wants to play with you. Today, Nyangqin made raspberry sauce, it's delicious. When you're better, I'll let you eat it." Hearing Daodu's words, Zhao Yun'er's heart felt a little sour. After applying the medicine, Zhao Yun'er took out a white cloth and bandaged the bite wound on Little Black's leg. Looking at the big bite mark and how deep the bite was, it must have been a large animal. The possibility of it being a lion or tiger was higher. Little Black went up the mountain to hunt and encountered these animals. It was already very rare for him to be able to escape. Now, Zhao Yun could only pray that Little Black could survive this ordeal and that nothing bad would happen to him. Chapter 1602. After Little Hei was injured, Little Mao was actually more worried than Zhao Yun and Daodu. Little Hei was lying on the haystack in the wooden basin. Little Mao moved closer to Little Hei, stuck out its tongue, and licked Little Hei's body. Little Hei lifted its heavy eyelids and looked at Little Mao. Then, it heard Little Mao make a donkey sound, but it didn't know what Little Mao meant. However, there seemed to be some kind of communication between Little Hei and Little Mao. Seeing the sadness in Little Mao's eyes when Little Hei was injured, Zhao Yun couldn't help but sigh. There was indeed true love in the world. Even animals would help each other in times of need after interacting for a long time. After dinner, when the sky darkened and the sun was setting, Zhao Yun entrusted Daodu and Tian to Liang Jinxiao. After all, Zhao Yun was worried about leaving the two children at home. As for her and Mu Lianfeng, they led the pig up the mountain. After Zhao Yun left, Little Mao actually followed her. Zhao Yun looked at Little Mao in confusion. Usually, Little Mao wouldn't follow her no matter what she did. After all, donkeys didn't have that habit, unlike dogs, who liked to follow their owners wherever they went. "Little Mao, why are you following me? Go back quickly, I have to go up the mountain." Little Mao ignored Zhao Yun and continued to follow behind Zhao Yun. What was wrong with this donkey? It was the first time it was acting so strangely. Could it be that it knew that she was going to do something dangerous up the mountain, so it prepared to follow her? "Little Mao, go back. The mountain road is not easy to walk on, it's inconvenient. You can accompany Little Hei when you go back." Little Mao lowered its head and barked a few times. Zhao Yun didn't understand what Little Mao meant, so after urging it a few times, Little Mao followed behind her. Zhao Yun was a little helpless, so she could only let Little Mao follow her. When they went up the mountain, Mu Yanfeng tied the pig to a flat ground outside the tent. It was a little far from the tent and there was no light. After that, Zhao Yun asked Little Mao to hide further away, in case the pig didn't attract the wild animals, but Little Mao did. After preparing these, Mu Yanfeng and Zhao Yun went up the tree and waited quietly. Nothing happened during the night. They suddenly heard a tiger's roar. Zhao Yun and Mu Yanfeng were immediately alert. Was it a tiger? Last time, they had encountered a tiger. Could it be that this time, it was another tiger in the mountains that was eating people? Both of their expressions immediately became heavy as they stared at the direction where the tiger roar came from. After waiting, little Hay was Hayes, a tiger, a tiger, a tiger, a tiger, a tiger. Zhao Yun held Mu Yanfeng's hand tightly. She was a little scared. That tiger's roar was frightening. The danger when they encountered the tiger last time was still vivid in their minds. Thinking back, they couldn't help but feel a little scared. When the movement in the grass became more intense, they saw a white tiger come out of the grass. Zhao Yun thought she saw wrongly. It was actually a white tiger. Compared to yellow tigers, white tigers were much more precious and were rarely seen under normal circumstances. With the bright moon in the sky, they could see it more clearly. This white tiger's physique was bigger than the tiger they encountered before. It also looked more powerful, but it also meant that it was more dangerous. It wasn't as easy to deal with as the tiger they encountered before. Chapter 1603. That ferocious appearance made people who saw it uncontrollably tremble in fear, and waves of chill rose from the bottom of their hearts. When people faced dangerous animals, they would be like this. Even if they tried their best to control themselves, they would still be afraid. Mu Yanfeng wanted to make a move, but Zhao Yun pulled him back. What do you want to do? Kill that tiger. Zhao Yun whispered into Mu Yanfeng's ear. Mu Yanfeng hesitated for a moment, then nodded and said, "N. If we don't seize the opportunity to kill it today, I'm afraid we won't have another chance in the future." Mu Yanfeng voiced out the concerns in his heart. This time, the white tiger escaped, and it might not be so easy to lure it out again. If the white tiger disappeared for a while and didn't appear again, who knew how many lives would be lost when everyone relaxed their vigilance? Mu Yanfeng didn't dare to gamble with human lives again. Zhao Yun also didn't dare to gamble with Mu Yanfeng's life. It was already not easy to kill the white tiger last time and escape danger. This time, they might not be so lucky. Mu Yanfeng, the white tiger this time is more dangerous than the tiger last time. Are you sure you can deal with it? Zhao Yun said with a frown. She was still a little worried in her heart. The two of them looked at each other. When their eyes met, Mu Yanfeng's gaze immediately became much gentler. His scorching eyes stared at Zhao Yun, then he planted a kiss on Zhao Yun's forehead, and said softly, "Yun, if I don't go to hell, who will? Since His Majesty handed this matter to me, then I must take responsibility. If a few more lives are sacrificed, I'm afraid I won't be able to explain it to His Majesty. So this time, we can only eliminate all future troubles. This white tiger must be dealt with, and we can't let it continue to hurt people." After listening to Mu Yanfeng's words, Zhao Yun knew that Mu Yanfeng had his reasons for Mu Yanfeng. She was speaking from her own point of view. She did not want Mu Yanfeng to take risks out of selfishness. However, Mu Yanfeng put himself in a righteous position for the safety of others. The reason why she liked Mu Yanfeng, wasn't it because she liked Mu Yanfeng's awe-inspiring righteousness? Zhao Yun hesitated for a moment before nodding in agreement with Mu Yanfeng. She reminded him, "Be careful." "All right." Mu Yanfeng gently went down from the tree and slowly walked towards the white tiger. The white tiger originally wanted to bite the pig, but after hearing a trace of movement, it immediately became vigilant. In the dark night, the tiger's eyes shone brightly. When Mu Yanfeng approached the white tiger, he tried to lower his voice as much as possible so as not to alarm the white tiger. Unfortunately, this beast was very shrewd. It stared vigilantly in the direction Mu Yanfeng went. With every step Mu Yanfeng took, his back was covered in cold sweat. Zhao Yuner, who was hiding in the tree, felt her heart tighten. She was afraid that the white tiger would become agitated and directly beat Mu Yanfeng to the ground. Mu Yanfeng felt that he had to end the battle quickly and take down the white tiger as soon as possible. If he waited for the white tiger to react, it would either run away or pounce on him. At that time, he would be in a disadvantageous position and his life might be in danger. Pulling out a dagger from his sleeve, Mu Yanfeng suddenly rushed out. The white tiger noticed Mu Yanfeng's movements. It let out a deafening roar again, shaking people's hearts with lingering fear. The king of the forest was indeed the king of the forest. Even a roar could frighten people. Mu Yanfeng's body could not help but tremble. However, he did not withdraw his dagger and continued to stab the white tiger. Chapter 1604. Mu Yanfeng's dagger pierced into the white tiger's body. Originally, Mu Yanfeng wanted to hit the white tiger's head directly, just like when he killed the tiger before. He wanted to kill the white tiger with a fatal blow in the middle of its head. But because the white tiger discovered his tracks in advance, it dodged when he approached. Mu Yanfeng's dagger missed its target and fell on the white tiger's back. However, the pain from the dagger still made the white tiger restless. Mu Yanfeng couldn't pull out the dagger that he had inserted. And the white tiger's claws fiercely swung towards Mu Yanfeng. Mu Yanfeng knew that things were not good, but he couldn't dodge in time. The white tiger's claws fell heavily on his shoulder. Mu Yanfeng was in so much pain that he couldn't breathe. His whole body was also slapped away by the white tiger. Wretch, Mu Yanfeng felt a mouthful of blood in his chest and spat it out. The white tiger's strength was not small. After he was hit by its claws, it was more serious than if he was hit by a palm strike from a martial artist. After falling heavily on the ground, Mu Yanfeng's body hurt as if it was falling apart. Zhao Yuner saw the situation and was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. She wanted to quickly rush down from the tree. Mu Yanfeng, however, held his breath and shouted to Zhao Yuner, "It's dangerous, don't come over." Zhao Yuner saw that the injured white tiger was angry. She glared at Mu Yanfeng fiercely, as if she wanted to tear Mu Yanfeng apart. Now that Mu Yanfeng was on the ground, he didn't even have the strength to get up. If she didn't go down, wouldn't Mu Yanfeng be bitten by the white tiger and lose his life? If she went down, then there was still a chance. Zhao Yuner didn't want to accept her fate so easily. It wasn't easy to be together with Mu Yanfeng. How could she be willing to let Mu Yanfeng lose his life? Ignoring Mu Yanfeng's attempt to stop her, Zhao Yuner climbed down from the tree. She had a long knife in her hand. She could only use it to defend herself. When Mu Yanfeng saw Zhao Yuner coming down, his brows were tightly knitted together. With every step Zhao Yuner took, his frown deepened. Zhao Yuner moved to Mu Lingfeng's side and looked at the white tiger vigilantly. White tiger was probably seriously injured. It first licked its wounds, then its sharp eyes stared at Zhao Yuner and Mu Yanfeng. Their originally stopped steps slowly moved towards Zhao Yuner and Mu Yanfeng. "Yuner, hurry up and leave. It's not too late." When Zhao Yuner got close to Mu Yanfeng pushed Zhao Yuner back, indicating for Zhao Yuner to leave. "I'm not leaving." Zhao Yuner pulled Mu Yanfeng stubbornly, trying to pull Mu Yanfeng up from the ground. Mu Yanfeng gently whispered into Zhao Yuner's ear, "Yuner, be good and leave quickly. It's okay if something happens to me, but if something happens to you, who will take care of Daodu in the future?" "Who said it's okay if something happens to you? You still have to take care of Daodu and me. You didn't take responsibility for the past few years. Don't tell me you don't want to take responsibility as a father and a husband in the future." "So Mu Yanfeng, I won't let anything happen to you, absolutely not. Even if there's danger, we'll face it together. I'm your wife, so I should know what it means to live and die together." Mu Yanfeng sighed. He was helpless against Zhao Yun'er's stubbornness. However, this white tiger was very ferocious. If Zhao Yun'er came again, he could have sacrificed himself, but now he might have to drag Zhao Yun'er along. Chapter 1605. Zhao Yun'er stared at the white tiger, and there seemed to be a raging fire burning between her and the tiger. The white tiger bared its fangs. Because it had suffered at the hands of Mu Yanfeng and was injured, it was more or less afraid of Mu Yanfeng. With every step the white tiger took, there was the sound of branches on the ground being trampled. Mu Yanfeng quickly protected Zhao Yun'er behind him. If the white tiger really wanted to attack someone, it would attack him first, not Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er looked up at Mu Yanfeng's side profile. This man would always think of her first at all times and protect her so that she would not be in danger. Roar! The white tiger roared again and got closer. At this point, it was useless to be afraid. Zhao Yun'er held a knife in her hand. When she saw Mu Yanfeng standing in front of her, she handed it to Mu Yanfeng. Come, use it for self-defense. If this beast really catches up to it, give it another stab. Okay. Mu Yanfeng took the knife from Zhao Yun'er's hand. He was not as proficient in using a knife as a dagger, and he was not sure if he could hit the white tiger's vital points in one go. If he failed this time and angered the white tiger again, the white tiger would not be like it was now. It would enter a berserk mode. Roar! The white tiger seemed to be sure that Mu Yanfeng and Zhao Yun were not as good as it. It jumped and attacked Mu Yanfeng and Zhao Yun'er. Mu Yanfeng swung the knife in his hand, but the white tiger's body was unusually agile. It easily avoided Mu Yanfeng's attack. Instead, its front paw directly pushed Mu Yanfeng to the ground. Zhao Yun'er was also knocked out and fell to the ground. She struggled to support her body and finally fell to the ground. He saw Mu Yanfeng being pressed under the white tiger's body. The white tiger's fangs were wide open, and it could eat Mu Yanfeng if it lowered its head. Zhao Yun'er couldn't wait to rush over and push white tiger away, but she didn't even have the strength to get up. He could only lie on the ground and watch as Mu Yanfeng was in danger. This feeling of powerlessness and frustration made Zhao Yun'er feel extremely uncomfortable. She was afraid that if she blinked again, Mu Yanfeng would become the white tiger's food. Don't eat him. Zhao Yun'er shouted at white tiger, even though she knew that white tiger couldn't understand human language. However, white tiger ignored Zhao Yun'er. It opened its mouth wider and slowly lowered it, preparing to bite Mu Yanfeng. At this moment, Xiao Mao, who had been arranged to hide by Zhao Yun'er, suddenly rushed out and ran directly towards white tiger. Xiao Mao arrived in front of white tiger, lifted its hind legs, and directly kicked white tiger's face. It happened to kick white tiger's 2 eyes. An even more miserable cry was heard. White tiger didn't care about Mu Yanfeng under it and directly jumped around in pain. Mu Yanfeng was fortunately released. Mu Yanfeng, how are you? Are you okay? Zhao Yun'er asked anxiously. I'm fine. Fortunately, there was Xiao Mao. If Xiao Mao hadn't rushed out in time, he would have really become white tiger's food. It's good that you're fine. Zhao Yun'er's heart, which had been hanging in the air, finally breathed a sigh of relief. She really didn't dare to imagine what it would be like if Mu Yanfeng died in front of her. However, now was not the time to let down her guard. The danger was still ongoing. Zhao Yun'er supported herself with difficulty and crawled to Mu Yanfeng's side. The two of them supported each other and stood up. Chapter 1606. Mu Yanfeng originally wanted to use this opportunity to get rid of the white tiger, but he could not recover his strength immediately. In addition, the white tiger seemed to have sensed the danger coming from Mu Yanfeng, so it fled into the forest and disappeared in the blink of an eye. The forest was very deep, and it would be difficult to find anything that escaped into it. Moreover, Zhao Yun'er and Mu Yanfeng's current physical condition was not good at all, so they could only watch as the white tiger escaped. Although they did not catch the white tiger, it was fortunate that they were able to escape from the white tiger's hands today and did not lose their lives. As for how to deal with the white tiger next, they would have to think of a way later. They did not know what kind of species it was before, so their preparations were not complete. Many things were not done properly, so they naturally encountered danger when they acted rashly. If there was another chance next time, it would not be like this. They were afraid that there would not be another chance. The white tiger was injured this time, but it should not lose its life. There was a possibility that it would appear again next time. Because there were too many uncertainties, there was no way to guard against it. If they sent people into the forest to look for the tiger, this method was not very feasible. Mu Lianfeng's brows were inevitably dyed with some anxiety. Zhao Yun saw through Mu Lianfeng's thoughts and comforted him. Mu Lianfeng, we are already very lucky to be able to escape danger this time. Let's think about other things in the future. Yes, yes. Mu Lianfeng nodded in response. His worries were useless. Instead of worrying, it was better to calm down and slowly think of a way. Wretch, after walking a few steps, Mu Lianfeng vomited the blood in his chest again. Zhao Yun saw this situation and immediately panicked. Sometimes, this kind of internal injury was more serious than external injury. Mu Lianfeng vomited blood, which meant that the injury was not light. Zhao Yun quickly supported Mu Lianfeng. I will help you to the tent to rest first. Let's go see a doctor tomorrow. Okay. Mu Lianfeng responded. Afraid that Zhao Yun would be worried, Mu Lianfeng said gently, Yun, don't worry, I will be fine. You don't have to worry too much about me. Zhao Yun sighed. Mu Lianfeng, you have to be well. For me and Daoda's sake, we haven't spent enough time together as a family. Mu Lianfeng held Zhao Yun's hand, but Yun, can you promise me one thing? Yun, If you encounter danger again in the future, you must not be like today. You must escape by yourself first, don't worry about me. Hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Zhao Yun was a little angry. Mu Lianfeng, my life is your life. Is it not life? Daoda doesn't need me. Daoda also needs you. So next time, and the time after that, don't think about shouldering the burden alone no matter how dangerous or difficult it is. Whether we live or die together, we can discuss other requests, but don't mention this to me again. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Zhao Yun's stubborn little face. He felt helpless, but a sense of happiness welled up from the bottom of his heart. How lucky must he be to be able to obtain such a woman? God must have left the best for him. With Zhao Yun, he was willing to do anything. No matter how dangerous it was, he would definitely survive it. Yun, you are so good. You look so cute when you are angry. Chapter 1607. Mu Lianfeng could only reply with a smile. Okay. Yun, I was wrong. I should have listened to you seriously. I'll remember what you said. Zhao Yun's angry little face eased a little. It's good that you remember. Okay. Zhao Yun supported Mu Lianfeng into the tent. Mu Lianfeng rested for a while, and his condition gradually improved. However, she still had to call a doctor to treat him. It's all thanks to Xiao Mao this time. Zhao Yun sighed. Previously, when Xiao Mao followed her up the mountain, she was not happy. She never thought that Xiao Mao would be so capable that it could even deal with a white tiger. The white tiger's eyes were badly injured by Xiao Mao. The eyes were the most sensitive part of humans and animals. If the eyes were injured, they could not see and could not launch any attacks. Xiao Mao had done a good job this time. When they returned, they must reward Xiao Mao well. Zhao Yun only had a few scratches and minor external injuries. Her condition was not as serious as Mu Lianfeng's, so it was not a big deal. The two of them did not stay in the tent for long. When Mu Lianfeng could almost walk on his own, they returned to the foot of the mountain. After all, they were worried about Daodu and Tian Tian. They were also afraid that if they did not return, Daodu would be worried. In addition, it was more or less inconvenient to stay in the tent. As for Xiao Mao, it followed behind Xiao Yun and went down the mountain. Xiao Yun glanced at Xiao Mao. She was shrewd and wondered if Xiao Mao was transformed from a spirit. Otherwise, how could a donkey be so powerful? Xiao Mao, you're so awesome. Your hooves are so powerful. When we get back, I'll make you braised pork. Xiao Yun said with a smile as she patted Xiao Mao's head. Xiao Mao replied proudly. The expression on its face was very interesting. Come, let's go back. When they returned to the foot of the mountain, it was already late at night. Xiao Yun went to the third branch. The third branch had already turned off the fire and was asleep. Knowing that Tian Tian and Daodu were asleep, Xiao Yun returned to her small, shabby thatched hut. It wouldn't be good to wake the two children up now. He could just pick them up tomorrow morning. Mu Lianfeng had already washed up and laid down, waiting for Xiao Yun to come back so that they could sleep together. Seeing that Xiao Yun did not bring the two children back, he asked, "Are Daodu and Tian Tian not coming back to sleep tonight?" Xiao Yun shook her head and said, "I'm not coming back. My mother has already fallen asleep with them. It's not good to wake them up after bringing them back." Mu Lianfeng nodded and replied, "I see. That's even better." Xiao Yun froze for a second, then frowned and asked, "What do you mean by this is better?" The smile on Mu Lianfeng's lips deepened, but he did not continue to explain. Mu Lianfeng did not say anything, but that did not mean that Xiao Yun would let him off so easily. Xiao Yun went forward and asked, "Mu Lianfeng, say something. What do you mean by this is better? Look at your lewd smile. There must be something." Xiao Yun's words left him speechless. This was the first time he had heard someone call him lewd. "Say it. What were you thinking just now? What do you mean by this is better?" Xiao Yun questioned, her attitude tougher than before. Mu Lianfeng had no choice but to say, "Okay, I'll say it." That's a good boy." Xiao Yun's serious face was no longer as tense. "Yun'er, come closer. I'll tell you." Mu Lianfeng said gently. Although Xiao Yun was a little confused, she still went over very cooperatively. Chapter 1608. Xiao Yun felt a huge body pressing down on her, and a fresh smell of fragrant grass rolled into her nose. This smell was the smell of Mu Lianfeng's body. The two people's eyes met, and their faces were suddenly very close. Xiao Yun's face suddenly turned red. She didn't expect Mu Lianfeng's sudden action. What are you going to do?" Xiao Yun asked nervously. Although the two of them had been sleeping in the same bed these days, and there was a lot of time to sleep together, this was the first time Mu Lianfeng had done this. When the whole body pressed down on her, Xiao Yun felt that her body was stiff, and it became a little difficult to breathe. "Mu Lianfeng, get off of me quickly." Seeing that Mu Lianfeng didn't speak, Xiao Yun urged again. Mu Lianfeng shook his head, indicating that he didn't agree. "Pervert." Xiao Yun's face turned red, and she scolded in a low voice. She was curious why Mu Lianfeng said that it would be better if Daodu and Tian Tian didn't come back. It turned out that he had this idea. The two children were not at home, so he could do anything to her unscrupulously. Men. Sure enough, they were all the same. No matter how serious they looked on the surface, they were actually a little perverted. "No." Mu Lianfeng flatly refused, and he had no intention of moving away from Xiao Yun. Xiao Yun bit her lower lip angrily. This guy was playing rogue with her. Knowing that Mu Lianfeng was injured, and it was an internal injury, Xiao Yun didn't dare to resist. She was afraid that Mu Lianfeng would be hurt, but she was unwilling to let Mu Lianfeng like this. Could it be that she really wanted to let Mu Lianfeng take advantage of her? "Mu Lianfeng. You. Stop fooling around." "I'm not messing around." Mu Lianfeng bent down and stared at Xiao Yun below him. His gaze gradually became hot. "And you said you weren't messing around. Yun, don't you like me?" Xiao Yun was startled. What nonsense was this guy talking about? When did she say that she didn't like it? Mu Yanfeng saw that Zhao Yun'er did not speak. He knew that Zhao Yun'er liked him, and a satisfied smile appeared on his lips. Although his lips were on Zhao Yun'er's lips, Mu Yanfeng tossed and turned, as if he wanted to swallow Zhao Yun'er into his stomach. Zhao Yun'er resisted at first, but when she couldn't resist, she simply sank into it. She still rarely got intimate with Mu Yanfeng, because she was busy with too many things on a daily basis. In addition, the children were all in the same room. Even if Mu Yanfeng wanted to make a move on her, he had to consider the negative impact in front of the children. Now that Daodu and Tian Tian were not here, Mu Yanfeng became unscrupulous. The two people's bodies became hotter and hotter. Mu Yanfeng reached out and wanted to untie Zhao Yun'er's clothes, but he was stopped by Zhao Yun'er. Yun'er. Mu Yanfeng looked at Zhao Yun'er with a somewhat blurred gaze. No. You can't. Zhao Yun'er said with a red face. Yun'er, you are my wife. The emperor's imperial edict should be here soon. Mu Yanfeng's voice became softer, with a sense of charm. Zhao Yun'er felt that Mu Yanfeng was instigating her to commit a crime. Damn, when a man became gentle, a woman really couldn't stand it. Zhao Yun'er felt that her body was hot and wanted to vent. Of course, all of this was caused by Mu Yanfeng. Yun'er. Mu Yanfeng's tone was pleading. Chapter 1609. Yun'er, I know my own body best. Zhao Yun'er didn't know what to say to Mu Yanfeng. Seeing Mu Yanfeng in heat, she knew that she probably couldn't escape. Since she couldn't escape, why not enjoy it once? These days, she really rejected Mu Yanfeng too much in this kind of thing. If this continued, she didn't know if this man would be stifled to death. Since the emperor had already bestowed the marriage, although they didn't receive the imperial edict in time because they were in a hurry to come back, it couldn't run away. After all, the monarch's words carried weight, and he couldn't go back on his words. And in the future, if she could be together with Mu Yanfeng and become his wife, she would have to have this kind of relationship with him sooner or later. Since it would happen sooner or later, it was good for her to sink into it once. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er didn't stop him, Mu Yanfeng gently kissed Zhao Yun'er's forehead, and then began to undress Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er nervously stopped Mu Yanfeng. Wait. Wait. What's wrong? Mu Yanfeng looked at Zhao Yun'er curiously and asked. That. Zhao Yun'er blushed and weakly replied, Can you put out the candles? I. Mu Yanfeng saw that Zhao Yun'er was shy, and with a palm wind, the candles were immediately put out, and the room was dark for a moment. However, it was because of the darkness that Zhao Yun'er felt safe. Mu Yanfeng's hands continued, and the two quickly took off their clothes, and their bodies were pressed together. Zhao Yun'er experienced it for the first time, so her whole body was trembling. You. Be gentle. Zhao Yun'er whispered shyly. I know, Yun'er. Mu Yanfeng replied. The moment Zhao Yun'er felt something enter her body couldn't help but stiffen. For the first time, even after giving birth to Daodu, she still felt some pain, but the pain wasn't that intense. With Mu Yanfeng's next movements, the pain gradually disappeared, and a very comfortable feeling spread throughout her body. The two gradually reached the top of the clouds, and enjoyed the rare pleasure of intimacy. After the passion ended, Zhao Yun'er lay on the bed, panting heavily. She was exhausted, and the flush on her face didn't recede. Mu Yanfeng hugged Zhao Yun'er tightly in his arms, and there was a layer of sweat. It was sticky. It was a pity that it was inconvenient to take a bath in this era. Otherwise, after finishing this matter, taking a hot bath would definitely make him feel refreshed. Sleep. Mu Yanfeng planted another kiss on Zhao Yun'er's forehead. Zhao Yun'er replied. Perhaps it was late at night, or perhaps it was because she was too tired. After Zhao Yun'er closed her eyes, she quickly fell asleep. Early the next morning, Zhao Yun'er went to pick up Daodu and Tian Tian. Liang Jinxiao saw that Zhao Yun'er's face was scratched, and asked about the situation last night with concern. Zhao Yun'er just replied casually, and didn't mention the thrilling incident last night, so that Liang Jinxiao wouldn't be worried. In the next few days, nothing happened. Zhao Ping'er stayed with the third branch these days, and Liang Jinxiao entertained her with good food and drinks. Seeing that Zhao Ping'er relied on her injury to eat this and that, Zhao Yun'er was very unhappy. Unfortunately, whatever she said to Liang Jinxiao was useless. In this case, she didn't need to waste that effort. Chapter 16:10. After all, when the new house was built, it meant that she could move in. The whole family didn't have to squeeze into the small thatched house, which was very inconvenient. Moreover, the big house was spacious, so it was more comfortable than the small thatched house that leaked wind and rain. After Zhao Yun'er's house was built, she bought some candies from the town. Generally, when the villagers finished building a new house, they would stand on the roof and sprinkle some candies as a celebration to add joy and luck. This was a traditional custom in the village. Zhao Yun'er didn't want to save money, so she bought some candies. Of course, firecrackers were also necessary for the building to be completed. Zhao Yun'er also bought some firecrackers back. In the morning, when the villagers found out that Zhao Yun'er's house was going to be completed, they rushed to Zhao Yun'er's new house to join in the fun. When the candies were scattered, they could more or less snatch some. One had to know that the villagers were very poor, so how could they be willing to spend money to buy candies to eat? It was also good to snatch a piece of candy and give it to the children at home. Usually, the villagers didn't pay much attention to Zhao Yun'er's new house. They thought that something good could be built when the foundation was at the foot of the mountain. When they came to see Zhao Yun'er's house, they realized that they were wrong. Zhao Yun'er's house was built with at least 7 or 8 rooms. It looked very imposing. Moreover, Zhao Yun'er's house wasn't built with the same broken thatched houses as the other villagers, but with brick and tile houses. The cost of building this kind of brick and tile house was very expensive. It cost a lot of money to build a house. Ordinary people simply didn't have the money to build it. Zhao Yun not only built it, but also built such a big house. It must have cost at least dozens of silver. The villagers were all amazed at Zhao Yun'er's wealth. In the future, the richest family in the village would be Zhao Yun'er's family. But thinking about it, Zhao Yun'er was now hooked up with Mu Lianfeng, and Mu Lianfeng was the current heir apparent. Naturally, it was impossible for him to be poor. In addition to the beautiful brick house, Zhao Yun'er's walls were painted with white lime, which looked refreshing and bright. It was even more beautiful than the houses in town. If he lived in such a house, it would definitely be very comfortable. Unfortunately, ordinary villagers like them had no money. Not to mention building a big house like Zhao Yun'er's house, it was already good enough to have a few more ordinary thatched huts. Every family in the village lived together, and there were no extra rooms for people to live alone. The villagers were talking about Zhao Yun'er's house. Most of them were sighing that old Zhao's family was rich and their lives were getting better and better. In the morning, in the courtyard of old Zhao's house, Feng Zhangxia greeted Shen Pan, when Yun'er's house is finished, they will set off firecrackers and scatter candy. It will be very lively. Do you want to go out and join in the fun? Let's bring Yang Yang along, and we can grab more candy for Yang Yang to eat. Shen Panner's family was somewhat rich, so she didn't care about these small things. What she hated the most were the villagers who stared at some worthless things and treated them like treasures. Her mother-in-law, Feng Zhangxia, was the same, but Shen Panner couldn't say anything to Feng Zhangxia. If she offended Feng Zhangxia, as the daughter-in-law, her life in old Zhao's house wouldn't be easy. Chapter 16:11. Shen Pan couldn't help but refuse. She knew that Feng Zhangxia wouldn't say anything if she used Zhao Yangyang as a shield. Sure enough, as soon as Shen Pan finished speaking, Feng Zhangxia's eyes turned. After thinking about it, she felt that Shen Pan's words made sense, so she said to Shen Pan, you're right. When the time comes, there will be too many people and it won't be good for Yang Yang to go. If he gets hurt accidentally, it'll be too late to cry. Shen Pan nodded. Yes, so mother, you should go. I'll take care of Yang Yang at home. Feng Zhangxia quickly nodded. Okay, okay. Then I'll go with Yang Yang. Okay. When the time comes, I'll grab some candies to satisfy Yang Yang's cravings. I haven't bought anything good for Yang Yang to eat during this time. Feng Zhangxia muttered. Shen Pan pursed her lips and didn't say anything. She was dissatisfied with Feng Zhangxia's behavior during this time. Because Xiao Tianhu and Jin Zhu were about to get married, there were a lot of things they needed to spend money on. It would be a huge expense when the time came. Because Feng Zhangxia wanted to save money, she had been living frugally during this time. She couldn't bear to spend money on good things and was even stingy with Xiao Yangyang. Shen Pan began to worry. If Feng Zhangxia was already like this, when her second sister-in-law married into the family in the future, the family would be even tighter. She didn't know how stingy Feng Zhangxia would be. Moreover, Xiao Tianhu wasn't as capable as Xiao Tianhu. As his mother, Feng Zhangxia would naturally make more plans for him. She would probably give whatever money she had to Xiao Tianhu and Jin Zhu. She wouldn't think about Shen Pan and Xiao Tianlong. Shen Pan was annoyed at this thought. Even if she was dissatisfied, she couldn't say anything. After all, it wouldn't be good for her if things got out of hand and they split up. She had to find someone to take care of her and Xiao Yangyang. Otherwise, who would wash their clothes? Who would cook for them? Did she have to make him do it himself? That wouldn't do. She wasn't born to be a country bumpkin. However, everything would be fine after a while. When Xiao Tianlong came back, she would talk to him about splitting up. If Xiao Tianlong could pass the imperial examinations, he would be able to become an official in the future and his family would be rich. Xiao Tianlong could take care of his parents after he became rich, but he couldn't possibly take his younger brother and sister-in-law with him, right? Shen Panner didn't want to let anyone take advantage of her. Although they were brothers, there were some things that they had to be clear about. Yes, mother. Thank you for your hard work, mother. Shen Pan replied resentfully. It's no trouble at all. Mother would also join in the fun if she went. Little girl Pan, it's actually quite lively. You can go out and take a look. Take Yang Yang and stand further away. You shouldn't get hurt. Shen Pan shook her head and refused. Mother, you can go. I won't go. Feng Zhangxia didn't insist. All right then, mother will go now. After saying that, Feng Zhangxia walked out of the room. At this time, Hua Chunhua happened to be in the yard. Feng Zhangxia called out to Hua Chunhua, Mother, Yun'er's house has been built. It will be very lively when they put down the firecrackers and sprinkle the sugar. Do you want to go and have a look? The two of us can go together. Hua Chunhua snorted coldly, her face full of displeasure. Feng Zhangxia asked curiously, Mother, what's wrong with you? Are you unhappy? Chapter 16:12. Feng Zhangxia became even more curious and asked, Mother, why is that? Why don't you go? The house that third brother built belongs to the eldest brother. There are at least 7 or 8 rooms. I'm afraid that there's only one house in our Shui Lan village. After all, it has something to do with our old Zhao family. We'll be honored if we go. Hua Chunhua's expression became even uglier. She replied coldly, It has something to do with our old Zhao family. What can it have to do with us? They built such a big house for us to live in. Now that the third branch has achieved great success, what benefits do we get? Did they think of us? Hearing Hua Chunhua's words, Feng Zhangxia smiled embarrassedly, Mother, there's nothing we can do about it. Our old Zhao family separated from the family. Moreover, that house doesn't belong to third brother and third sister-in-law. It was built by Yun'er. Then it has something to do with Yun'er. We can't think of it. The more Feng Zhangxia said, the angrier Hua Chunhua became. That's reasonable, but they can't do that. I'm that girl's elder, right? Let's not talk about other people. Shouldn't they take me and her grandfather to live there? Isn't it just a matter of a house? Hearing Hu Chunhua's words, Feng Zhangxia finally understood why Hu Chunhua was angry. In the end, Hu Chunhua cared about her reputation. The third branch built such a big house. Everyone in the village was talking about how good the house was. In the end, Hu Chunhua, as the grandmother, couldn't live in it. She could only look at it. Naturally, she was unhappy. After all, a big house was more comfortable than a shabby thatched hut. Feng Zhangxia comforted her, "Mother, why are you angry about this? Why don't you talk to third brother? He's a filial person and will definitely listen to you. When the time comes, third brother will nod and agree. Then you can live in it, right?" Hu Chunhua was silent for a moment. Feng Zhangxia's words made sense. He would tell Zhao Wenhua about this later. Zhao Wenhua was Zhao Yun'er's father. Could it be that he did not have any dignity in front of Zhao Yun'er? You still can't make up your mind? Alright, I'll talk to third brother about it later. Well, third brother is in the big house now. Let's go and have a look. It's rare to see such a lively thing in the village. Hu Chunhua nodded in agreement. Alright then. It's good to go out for a walk and get some exercise. It's really boring at home. Ha, that's right. Mother, you should go too. Maybe the two of us can snatch more candies back, and then we can snatch more for Yang Yang. The reason why Feng Zhangxia pulled Hu Chunhua over so eagerly was that she wanted more people and more hands to snatch the candies. Otherwise, she would not have wasted so much time talking to Hu Chunhua. Then let's go, let's go. Hu Chunhua mumbled. Ha, alright. The two of them ran in the direction of Zhao Yun'er's newly built big house. Meanwhile, Zhao Ping overheard the conversation between Hu Chunhua and Feng Zhangxia. Zhao Ping was very excited when she heard about the candies. She quickly got out of bed. Everyone was running to snatch the candies. Naturally, she could not be left behind. Chapter 16:13. Mother, I heard that father has finished building the house. He's going to set off firecrackers and scatter candy later. Zhao Ping mumbled. Liang Jinxiao nodded and said, yes. Ping, what's wrong? Mother, I want to go too. Liang Jinxiao frowned and said worriedly, Ping, what do you think you're going to do? You can only lie down at home like this. Otherwise, if you pull on the wound on your body, what should we do? Zhao Ping, pursed her lips and said, Mother, I'm fine. I've rested for so many days. I won't get hurt if I'm careful. Liang Jinxiao was still worried. Ping, what if you get hurt? Actually, there's nothing to see. It's just setting off firecrackers and scattering candy. Mother, I'm going because I want to snatch the candy. Zhao Ping muttered. Upon hearing that Zhao Ping wanted to snatch the candy, Liang Jinxiao stopped her even more. Ping, what's the point of snatching the candy? Later, I'll ask Yun to leave some for you to eat. Zhao Ping said disdainfully, Mother, Zhao Yun is so stingy with me. Would she be so kind as to leave me candy to eat? I'd better snatch it myself. Otherwise, I'll be scolded by her if I take her candy later. Zhao Ping knew that she should be soft-mouthed after receiving a gift. Liang Jinxiao sighed. Ping, then Mother will help you snatch the candy. You just rest at home and don't go out. Mother, why don't you let me go out? It's better if you help snatch the candy. The two of us can snatch more candy together. Liang Jinxiao felt helpless after being tormented by Zhao Ping, He had no choice but to say, all right then. But Ping, don't be too rough when you snatch it, lest you hurt yourself. Zhao Ping, replied faintly, got it, got it. The two of them left the third branch's room together. Liang Jinxiao was afraid that Zhao Ping's body would not be able to take it. Along the way, he reminded Zhao Ping, to slow down and not be too anxious. Zhao Ping thought that Zhao Yun's family had built a big house, so she asked Liang Jinxiao, "Mother, the house is built. When will you move in?" "We'll talk about it after we get the furniture back. It'll probably be done in a day or two. It's very fast." Zhao Ping thought for a moment and asked, "Mother, the house that Zhao Yun built this time is so big that it can definitely fit a lot of people." Liang Jinxiao nodded and said, "That's right. There are enough houses. This time, I specially built a few more. I'm just afraid that there won't be enough space for more people in the future." "Mother, then can I bring Brother Yuan and his family over to live here later? Isn't it good for us to live together? You don't know, but my in-laws' house is even more run down than ours. It's not comfortable at all. Since Zhao Yun built a house with enough rooms, then let us move in too." Zhao Ping said it very casually and did not feel that there was anything wrong with it at all. However, Liang Jinxiao frowned and rejected directly, "Ping, how can we do that? This has never happened before. How can we let your in-laws live with us?" "Mother, what's wrong with that? As long as there are enough houses. You're already living in a big house. You can't possibly let me go back to my in-laws' house to live in a run-down house alone, right?" When Liang Jinxiao heard Zhao Ping's words, he felt that Zhao Ping was actually not sensible at all even though she was already so old. "Ping, it's not that Mother doesn't want to let you go back to your in-laws' house to live in a rundown house. It's just that there's no reason for two families to live together." Chapter 16:14. How could Zhao Ping listen to Liang Jinxiao's words? She only felt that Liang Jinxiao did not agree. If you don't want us to live there, then so be it. When I earn money later, I'll also build a big house to live in." Liang Jinxiao's mouth twitched a little helplessly and said, "Ping, girl, then I'll wait for you to earn money in the future." After walking for a while, the two finally arrived in front of Zhao Yun's newly built house. Although the house was built at the foot of the mountain, because the foundation was leveled, it looked good. In particular, the courtyard was quite big. Coupled with the big house, it looked very imposing. In the village, this kind of house was definitely luxurious and unique. When Zhao Ping and Liang Jinxiao arrived, most of the villagers came to join in the fun, especially the children. Children were the most gluttonous. They hoped that when the candy was scattered, they could grab a few more candies to eat. The villagers gathered together were all chattering and exclaiming that Zhao Yun's newly built house was really luxurious. If they could live in this kind of house, it would be very comfortable. Unfortunately, they could only look at it. They could not live in it. After all, they were ordinary poor people and did not have so much money to build a house. Old Zhao's family is really lucky. In the village, their house is now the best built. Isn't that so? I don't know if the ancestors of old Zhao's family are really lucky. How did the whole family become rich in just a year? Didn't you hear that Zhao Baoshan built a tomb for the ancestors? It's probably because of the blessings of the old ancestor in heaven, that's why the old Zhao family has become prosperous. Hearing this, the villagers felt that it was very reasonable. Now, the only explanation that could explain the continuous happy events in old Zhao's family was the blessing of the ancestors. Otherwise, who could explain which family would have so many happy events in a year under normal circumstances? However, Zhao Baojuan's family was the most unhappy about this reason. At that time, they had built the ancestral grave for the old ancestor's family. If this was a blessing, why didn't the old ancestor bless their family? Why did all the good things go to Zhao Baoshan's family? It was obvious that the elder ancestor had done it on purpose. If they had known earlier, they would not have gone to repair the ancestral tomb. There was no benefit in doing so. "Ah, it's going to be sweets!" cried someone. N. Wait for me. We're setting off the firecrackers first. What's the rush? Zhao Wenhua first took out the firecrackers and exploded them. Then, he took the ladder and the candies and stood on the roof. The people who came to join in the fun were already waiting below, hoping that Zhao Wenhua would scatter the candies as soon as possible. Aya, don't push. What are you doing? Exactly. Why are you squeezing? Ouch, you stepped on my foot. Stop squeezing, it's so annoying. Seeing where Zhao Wenhua was standing, the crowd hurriedly squeezed in front of Zhao Wenhua. A group of people pushed each other, and the scene was a little chaotic. Everyone was afraid that they would not be able to snatch the candies and fought to be first. Zhao Yun looked at the villagers and shook her head. It would be good if they did not fight over the candies later. It was just some candies. As for that, Zhao Wenhua steadied himself and began to scatter the candies with the bag in his hand. Fortunately, Zhao Yun bought a lot. Otherwise, with so many people here, there would not be enough candies to snatch. Chapter 16:15. Zhao Wenhua was afraid that the fight would get too intense, so she hurriedly scattered a few more handfuls of candies in other directions. This way, the villagers would split up and fight for the candies, so that there wouldn't be too much chaos. One by one, the villagers squatted down and grabbed the candies on the ground, afraid that they would miss one and have it snatched away by someone else. When Zhao Ping saw the candy umbrella coming over, she hurriedly urged Liang Jinxiao, "Mother, hurry up and snatch the candies. Why are you wasting so much time?" Liang Jinxiao hurriedly squatted down, grabbed a few candies from the ground, and stuffed them into her pocket. Zhao Ping didn't fall behind. When she saw the candies beside her, she hurriedly reached out to grab them, not giving anyone a chance to snatch them away. When the candies beside her were all snatched, Zhao Ping hurriedly shouted at Zhao Wenhua, who was on the roof, "Father, hurry up and scatter more candies over here. Don't scatter them elsewhere." Zhao Ping's voice was very loud, so Zhao Wenhua naturally heard it and scattered a few more handfuls in Zhao Ping's direction. However, the other villagers rushed over like a swarm of bees and squeezed Zhao Ping out in an instant. She fell heavily to the ground, and pain immediately spread throughout her body. Zhao Ping was furious. When she saw the candy beside her, Zhao Ping ignored the pain and hurriedly reached out to grab it. However, when Zhao Ping was about to grab it, it was already too late. Another child's hand was faster than Zhao Ping's and snatched the candy from Zhao Ping's hand. Zhao Ping angrily glared at the child who snatched her candy. This child was none other than Tai Chui, her young madam's precious grandson. Zhao Ping frowned. If she didn't see wrongly, it was her ma-am who pushed her out with her buttocks. Now, her grandson was snatching her candy again. Zhao Ping couldn't take it anymore and exploded. "You brat, hurry up and return the candy to me. Who told you to snatch it from me? You sure have guts." Zhao Ping said angrily to Iron Hammer. Her face was cold and she looked very angry. Iron Hammer ignored Zhao Ping completely. Instead, he stuck out his tongue at Zhao Ping and said, "I'm not giving it to you. I'm not giving it to you. What I snatched is mine. Why should I give it to you?" Zhao Ping became more and more angry. A little brat dared to be so presumptuous in front of her. He really didn't put her in his eyes. If she didn't make a move and teach him a lesson, wouldn't this child turn the sky upside down? Zhao Ping endured the pain on her butt and got up from the ground. She walked in front of Iron Hammer and grabbed him by the collar. She threatened him, "Hurry up and return it to me. Otherwise, I'll beat you to death." Iron Hammer struggled in Zhao Ping's hand. Unfortunately, Zhao Ping was much bigger than him. Iron Hammer couldn't break free and shouted at Zhao Ping, "Let go of me, let go of me." Zhao Ping wouldn't let Iron Hammer go so easily. She continued in a fierce tone, "Give me the candy and I'll let you go." Otherwise, Iron Hammer ignored Zhao Ping's threat and continued to struggle. He also kicked Zhao Ping's leg a few times. Zhao Ping felt a burst of pain. She gritted her teeth and glared fiercely at Iron Hammer, "You brat, you really turned the sky upside down. I'll teach you a lesson. It seems that you don't know what's good for you. Iron Hammer was a little scared by Zhao Ping's fierce gaze. However, it was impossible for him to hand over the candy. Chapter 16:16. Little brat, you won't let go of me. What are you going to do about it? Tai Chui hurriedly shouted at Madame Hu, Grandma, someone is bullying me. Hurry and help me. A bad woman wants to beat me up. Madame Hu was originally focused on snatching candy from the ground and didn't know what was happening. When she heard Tai Chui's shout, she looked over and saw that Zhao Ping was actually touching Tai Chui. Tai Chui was Madame Hu's precious grandson, so Madame Hu naturally couldn't bear to see Tai Chui being bullied. Thus, she angrily rushed over to Zhao Ping and questioned Zhao Ping, "Last Ping, what are you doing? What right do you have to bully my Tai Chui? Did my Tai Chui offend you? How can you hit a child? You're already an adult, so how can you do that?" Zhao Ping angrily said, "So what if I hit him? Who told him to snatch my candy? Tell him to return the candy to me, and I'll let him go." Upon hearing Zhao Ping's words, Madame Hu became even angrier. She pointed at Zhao Ping and scolded, "Last Ping, how can you be like this? How old are you, yet you're still snatching candy from a child? Moreover, this is your family's house. How can your own family run over here to snatch candy from others? Aren't you afraid of being laughed at?" Zhao Ping didn't blush when she was scolded by Hu Shi. Instead, she said very matter-of-factly, "Who said that my family's candy can't be snatched by others? So what if I snatched it? Eldest young mistress, you knocked me down just now and injured me. I haven't even taken it to heart yet. Let's take it to heart now. Also, this brat kicked my leg a few times. It really hurt." Madame Hu wasn't someone who was easy to deal with. Upon hearing Zhao Ping's words, she immediately slapped her thigh and shouted, "Io, there's no justice in this world. There's really no justice in this world. How can she be like this?" At this moment, Zhao Wenhua finished scattering her candy. The villagers who came over to join in the fun also finished snatching their candy. When they heard Madame Hu's shout, they looked over at her. "What's going on? Why is it so noisy? Yeah, what's going on?" Seeing that the villagers were paying attention, Madame Hu began to complain, "Everyone, come and be the judge. Look at that girl Ping. What did that girl do? My family's iron hammer only snatched some candy, yet he's still holding onto my family's iron hammer and won't let him go. Right now, he's clamoring to teach my family's iron hammer a lesson." Hearing Madame Hu's words, the villagers began to condemn Zhao Ping. What's wrong with this Zhao Ping? She's so calculative with a child. That's right. He's already so old, yet he's still so immature. Who in our village would argue with a child? Sai, the eldest daughter of old Zhao's third wife, is such a weirdo. She often does such things, so there's nothing strange about it. That's right, I've always heard that the eldest daughter of the third branch isn't a good person. It was one thing to be scolded by Madame Hu, but now, even the villagers were slandering her. Zhao Ping couldn't take it anymore and retorted, "It was clearly one of you old things who pushed me and fell. A little brat snatched my candy. How can it be that I'm being unreasonable?" Madame Hu pursed her lips and said, "Then I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't mean to hurt you. Iron Hammer is also a child." That's right. Ping, alas, you're in the wrong. You're too calculative. Chapter 16:17. Today is an auspicious day for your family to build a new house. Don't make trouble, lass. You're making everyone unhappy and ruining this festive day. That's right. So what if she snatches a piece of candy? What's the big deal? Ping, don't be so calculative. The candy belongs to your family. You can eat as much as you want. Why must you fight with a child? The surrounding villagers were all helping Madame Hu and criticizing Zhao Ping. It was not that they were close to Madame Hu, but they really could not stand Zhao Ping's behavior. Zhao Ping was used to being arrogant and willful. It was difficult for her to yield to her. Ignoring what the surrounding people were saying, Zhao Ping continued to grab Iron Hammer by the collar and scolded him, "Hurry up and hand it over, little brat. Don't be so shameless." Madame Hu slapped her thigh and shouted to the villagers, "Fellow villagers, did you hear that? Ping is already acting like this. How can she be reasonable?" The villagers started to chatter again, criticizing Zhao Ping's behavior. Zhao Ping felt that it was all Madame Hu's big mouth that incited the villagers, so she glared at Madame Hu. A warning voice sounded, "Damned old hag, you'd better go overboard. Otherwise, I'll deal with you too." Oh my, did everyone hear that? This Ping even said that she'll deal with me too. Is this how you treat your elders? What kind of bad luck did old Zhao's family have to give birth to such a lass? Zhao Ping frowned. She already had a bad reputation for taking advantage of others. After Madame Hu made such a fuss, she reckoned that she would be criticized even more in the future. Thus, she felt like she had nowhere to vent her anger. Hearing the commotion and Liang Jinxiao clearly saw the whole situation from the side, he knew that Zhao Ping had indeed gone overboard. No matter what, Iron Hammer was still a child. If he snatched a piece of candy, then let him snatch it. It wasn't like he had another piece of candy to eat. But Zhao Ping refused to let go of the hammer. Now, with such a ruckus, the third branch was seen as a joke by others. Seeing that Zhao Ping didn't intend to let go of the hammer, Madame Hu's eyes fell on Liang Jinxiao. She scolded Liang Jinxiao, "Third niece-in-law, why are you still in a daze? Why don't you hurry up and persuade Ping? I don't know why your family members are fighting over the candy scattered by your own family. Weren't they usually snatched by outsiders? This is the first time the village has encountered such a thing." After Liang Jinxiao heard this, he felt a little embarrassed and smiled at Madame Hu. Then, he walked over to Zhao Ping and persuaded Zhao Ping, Ping, hurry up and let go of the hammer. Let's just forget about this matter. Zhao Ping curled her lips, her face filled with displeasure. Why should I? Mother, I don't agree. I won't let go. This child, later on, ask Yun, to bring you more candy to eat. Don't be so calculative with Iron Hammer. No, mother, this little brat is very unreasonable. I can't stand seeing him like this. Liang Jinxiao sighed and felt a little tired. Ai, Ping, if you say let it go, then let it go. Don't make a fuss. If you continue to make a fuss, mother will be angry. Zhao Ping, was silent for a moment, as if she was thinking about Liang Jinxiao's words. She felt that Liang Jinxiao was just bluffing and there was no need to pay attention to him. Chapter 16-18. Liang Jinxiao choked on Zhao Ping's words and her eyes were filled with disappointment. She had been serving Zhao Ping all these days. How could Zhao Ping not know? How could she say such words? It was really too sad. This girl was probably too naive. No matter how good she was to her, she wouldn't know. Ping, girl, it's not that I'm biased, but why are you making such a fuss on such a festive day? There are so many people here. Aren't you afraid of being laughed at? How old are you? There are some things that you should understand. Why are you still letting me talk to you? Zhao Ping wanted to say something, but she was interrupted by Liang Jinxiao. Hurry up and let go of Tai Chui. If you continue to make a fuss, you can go back to your in-laws' house. Even your maternal family can't keep you. When Zhao Ping heard that she was going back to her in-laws' house, Liang Jinxiao's attitude was still very firm. His face was cold and he didn't seem to be joking. Zhao Ping hesitated. She thought that if she went back to her in-laws' house, she wouldn't have so many good days. After all, Liang Jinxiao would provide good food and drink at her maternal family's house. Her life would be much more comfortable than at her in-laws' house. After hesitating for a while, Zhao Ping released Tai Chui's collar. However, before she let go of Tai Chui, she warned him, "You little brat, don't let me see you next time. Otherwise, I'll skin you alive." Tai Chui was so scared that he quickly rushed behind Madame Hu and complained, "Grandmother, look, this ugly monster is so fierce. He even threatened me." Madame Hu snorted and said, "With grandmother here, he wouldn't dare to do anything to you." "Yes, yes." Tai Chui nodded heavily. He believed that with Madame Hu here, no one would bully him. As for Zhao Ping, she ran away from her unscathed. Tai Chui proudly stuck out his tongue at Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping was infuriated at first glance, but when she thought of Liang Jinxiao's words, she couldn't argue with Iron Hammer. In any case, the next time he saw Iron Hammer, he would definitely beat him up. When Madame Hu saw the hammer in front of her, she was still unhappy with Zhao Ping, so she continued to chatter. "I say, third niece-in-law, the children in the family should be properly disciplined. Don't be so immature at their age. If others see them, they will say that our old Zhao family has no manners. You've embarrassed old Zhao's family." Liang Jinxiao pursed his lips and replied, "Auntie, you're right. I'll take note of that." Madame Hu snorted, "It's good that you know." After saying that, Madame Hu took the hammer and left. Since they had finished snatching the candies, there was no reason for them to stay. Zhao Ping angrily walked over to Liang Jinxiao and said to Liang Jinxiao, "Mother, look at her." That face of hers. Liang Jinxiao glared at Zhao Ping and said, "Shut up and stop talking. Don't you find it embarrassing?" Zhao Ping swallowed the words that she wanted to say. She saw Liang Jinxiao's frightening expression. If she said another word, Liang Jinxiao would probably fly into a rage. The surrounding villagers were still joining in the fun. Feng Zhangxia had managed to snatch some candies and was satisfied. However, because there were so many people, on average, each person did not manage to snatch a lot of candies. She only wanted to let her children have a taste of the candies. Now that the commotion over Zhao Ping's matter was over, the villagers started to talk about Zhao Yun's house again. Feng Zhangxia saw that Zhao Wenhua seemed to have kept some candies after scattering them. She started to think about the candies in Zhao Wenhua's hands. Chapter 1619. "Ah, third brother, today is your family's big day. Congratulations," Feng Zhangxia said with a smile. Zhao Wenhua also smiled and replied, "Thank you, sister-in-law." "Ha, third brother, look. So many people came today to join in the fun. Your third branch is really proud. You built such a big house. Everyone in the village is envious of you." Zhao Wenhua's face also revealed a proud smile. "The house is really big, but it's all thanks to Yun. Otherwise, how could Yun's mother and I get so much money to build the house?" Feng Zhangxia smiled and replied, "That's right. Yun is really capable. She's the most capable person in old Zhao's family." Zhao Wenhua laughed heartily. "Sister-in-law, don't just praise Yun. If we're talking about capability, who in old Zhao's family is more capable than Tianlong? When Tianlong's child becomes a provincial official in the autumn examination, he can become an official. Then, you'll be the wife of an official. In our village, only you have this good fortune. Don't you think so, sister-in-law?" Speaking up to this point, Feng Zhangxia also felt proud, and a proud smile appeared on her face. When it came to their family's Tianlong, there was indeed no one more capable than Zhao Tianlong. Of course, this still had to wait. She could only show off when Zhao Tianlong really passed the examination. Otherwise, she would definitely be laughed at by others. They're all capable. Ha, it's all old Zhao's good fortune. That's right. Zhao Wenhua sighed. Feng Zhangxia stared at the candy in Zhao Wenhua's hand. "Third brother, can you give me some of your candy? I'll give it to my Yang Yang when we get back." Zhao Wenhua hesitated for a moment. He was too embarrassed to refuse, so he grabbed a handful and gave it to Feng Zhangxia. Sister-in-law, Daodu and Tianfu still have to eat the rest. Tianyu didn't come today. You have to give some to Tianyu later. Feng Zhangxia replied, okay, that's good. It was enough to give her a handful of candies. Anyway, it was a profit. At this time, not far away, many old ladies from the village surrounded Hu Chunhua and said, Aunt Hua, you are really lucky. You can live in such a big house later, right? Yes. Auntie Hua, I really envy you for being able to live in such a big house. All of us are working hard for the sake of the younger generation. Only you are the most fortunate. How many people would be envious if they could enjoy a good life in their later years? Hu Chunhua's expression immediately turned ugly when she heard that. Feng Zhangxia saw Hu Chunhua's eyes and knew what Hu Chunhua was thinking. She pulled Zhao Wenhua to Hu Chunhua and said, Mother, tell third brother to move a room for you and father to live in. Zhao Wenhua was stunned and didn't understand what Feng Zhangxia meant. Sister-in-law. What are you talking about? Zhao Wenhua asked weakly. Hu Chunhua was too embarrassed to say anything, so she gave Feng Zhangxia a look. Feng Zhangxia smiled and explained, Third brother, look at how big your house is and how many rooms there are. Why don't you move a room for father and mother to live in? Father and mother are old. At their age, living in a big house must be much more comfortable. Third brother, mother always talks about how filial you are. Now that your third branch has a big house, you should naturally bring father and mother to enjoy life together. You can't let them live in that rundown house, right? Chapter 1620. Actually, he had never thought of letting Hu Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan move in together. After all, Zhao Yun was the one who paid for the house, and Zhao Yun only said that the third branch would move in. She did not mention Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua. In addition, their old Zhao family had split up, and now they were living their own lives. How could they still live together? He could not make the decision on this matter. If Hu Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan really wanted to move in, they had to get Zhao Yun's permission first. This. Zhao Wenhua hesitated and did not know what to say. Feng Zhangxia hurriedly said, I say, third brother, isn't it just a matter of one house? Your third branch's family has so many rooms, and you definitely won't be able to fill them all. What's wrong with giving one room to your parents? Don't tell me you don't want your parents to live in an empty house. Sigh, my family doesn't have money. Otherwise, your eldest brother and I would definitely bring our parents to live in such a good house. Zhao Wenhua was a little embarrassed by Feng Zhangxia's words. His sister-in-law had not built a house yet, so it was easy for her to say it. If she really built a house, he did not know what would happen. However, his family would build a house first and wait for Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua to move in. Then, his sister-in-law would continue building. Those two old people could not move from one big house to another, and they would not live with the first branch. However, Feng Zhangxia's words made him look too unfilial as a son. His parents had raised him up with great difficulty, and in the end, he could live in a big house and enjoy life, but he did not bring his parents along. But, sister-in-law. Zhao Wenhua was about to explain something, but when Hu Chunhua saw Zhao Wenhua's unhappy expression, she angrily interrupted Zhao Wenhua and reprimanded Zhao Wenhua. Third brother, you are an unfilial son. When you were young, you were raised by your mother's feces and urine. When you grew up, you completely forgot about your mother, right? When the villagers heard this, they also scolded Zhao Wenhua. What? So old Zhao's third branch did not let Aunt Hua and Uncle Zhao live there. How can this be? Such a big house, as a son, shouldn't he bring his parents to live in it? If I gave birth to such an unfilial son who built a big house and didn't let me live in it, I would definitely break his legs later. How can people lose their hearts when they have money? Have they forgotten who raised him? Hearing the criticism around him, Zhao was a little. If word spread like this, wouldn't he become the representative of the village's unfilial son? Zhao Yunlong became more and more embarrassed. After thinking for a while, he could only say, "Mother, it's not that I don't want to bring you and father to live together. It's just that this house isn't mine to begin with. It's Yun who paid for it. This title deed and house deed are all written in Yun-er's name. Whoever she wants to live in can live in. Yun-er's mother and I can't make the decision." Hu Chunhua glared at Zhao Wenhua. "Third brother, isn't this an excuse? Yun-er, this girl is your daughter. Don't tell me she doesn't listen to you as her father. I don't believe that she will say no if you say yes." "Of course I say no." Zhao Yun-er's cold voice drifted over. Seeing that Zhao Wenhua was being bullied, if she didn't stand up for Zhao Wenhua now, wouldn't she just let him be bullied? Chapter 1621. When she was living a hard life, she didn't see old Zhao's family helping her. Now that the third branch could live a comfortable life, why should she bring others to enjoy it with her? What did they do? Feng Zhangxia pretended to be a good person and said, "Yuner, you can't be like this. After all, your grandmother is your grandmother and your elder. Now that you can live in a big house, you should bring her with you. When you're old, you can't stand the torment. Let your grandfather and grandmother live in a big house in their later years and enjoy some happiness." The surrounding people echoed, "That's right. What's wrong with bringing elders to live in such a big house? After all, it's still empty. As a family, you should be more filial. Yuner, don't be too stingy. Bring the two elders to live with you." Seeing that the villagers tied this matter to morality, if she didn't bring Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua to live with her, she would probably be labeled by the villagers. However, there were too many situations like this. Zhao Yuner didn't care what others said. Anyway, she wouldn't agree or give in. "Eldest aunt, it's easy for you to say that. Back then, I was chased out of old Zhao's family. You know how much I suffered. At that time, you didn't care about me and even stabbed me in the back, making my life more difficult. Why didn't I see you do anything? Now that I'm living in a big house, it has nothing to do with old Zhao's family. Why should I bring my grandfather and grandmother to live with me? Besides, after we separated from the family, I established a female household. You didn't want to have anything to do with me in the first place. Now that you see that I'm living a good life, you eagerly come over." Zhao Yuner said mercilessly. Hearing this, Feng Zhangxia felt a little embarrassed, and Hu Chunhua's face turned red with anger. The surrounding villagers with a conscience still said something fair. Yuner's words aren't unreasonable. At that time, old Zhao's family went too far. Yuner suffered a lot. That's right. Yuner really didn't have it easy. It wasn't easy for her to get to where she is today. He remembered that there was a year when he almost starved to death. Fortunately, the people in the village helped him. Otherwise, he would have lost his life. At that time, old Zhao's family didn't do anything. They were stingy and didn't care about Yun-er at all. There's nothing wrong with what Yun-er is doing now. Previously, old Zhao's family had gone too far. In reality, there were too few people who repaid evil with good. Therefore, everyone could understand Zhao Yuner's actions. They didn't catch Zhao Yuner to criticize Zhao Yuner anymore. Hu Chunhua was unwilling, but she couldn't say anything. However, she was still unhappy that she wasn't able to live in Zhao Yuner's big house. Feng Zhangxia didn't think much of it. She just thought that if Zhao Tianlong became rich in the future, Hu Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan wouldn't still want to live with the first branch, right? She was naturally unwilling. If she lived with them, wouldn't it mean that the first branch had to take care of the two old people? They were already separated from the family, so what was the point? Most importantly, she didn't like Hu Chunhua. The old woman was usually very talkative and liked to point fingers. She used her status as a mother-in-law to order her to do this and that. If she didn't do a good job, she would be scolded. It was better not to live with them. Chapter 1622. Feng Zhangxia was thinking that if she could persuade Hu Chunhua to build her own house, Hu Chunhua would definitely not live with the eldest branch after she built her own house. When Zhao Tianlong passed the provincial examination, she would not have to worry about Hu Chunhua making a fuss and living with them. Hu Chunhua frowned. Build your own house. Yes. Build your own house. Mother, didn't little sister give a lot of betrothal gifts? Why keep so much money and not spend it? You might as well build a house. It won't cost too much. Sometimes, you have to enjoy it. Otherwise, you won't be able to bring it with you when you die. Who will you save all that money for? You and father are getting old. Who knows how many more years you can enjoy it? Hu Chunhua's face darkened when she heard this. She started scolding Feng Zhangxia, eldest daughter-in-law. How can you say that? Are you cursing your father and I to die? How can you talk like that? Feng Zhangxia suddenly realized that she had let it slip. Although what she said was true, it was taboo for the elderly. Feng Zhangxia pursed her lips and smiled embarrassedly. Mother, no, I'm not cursing you and father. I just want to advise you to enjoy it as much as you can now. Don't regret it when you can't. It's fine if you don't have money, but if you have money, why should you save it? Hu Chunhua sighed and said worriedly, you can't say that. You can only be at ease when you have money in your hands. If you spend it, what if you need it urgently in the future and can't take out the money? Feng Zhangxia pursed her lips and smiled. Mother, you can't say that. How can you spend too much money in the future? Moreover, mother, think about it. Little sister married such a rich man. If you really don't have money, can't you just look for little sister? Hu Chunhua was silent for a moment. She thought that Feng Zhangxia's words made sense. She had forgotten that she had a daughter who was rich. Thus, she gritted her teeth and said, fine, we'll build a house. That Yun, girl is very arrogant and stingy. She likes to haggle over every little thing. Later, I'll build my own house to piss her off. Feng Zhangxia giggled in response, that's right, mother. Building your own house will be so carefree. You don't have to live under someone else's roof. Eldest daughter-in-law, what you said makes sense. I'm already so old, but I can't stand that wretched girl's anger. Later, I'll discuss it with your father and buy a house. Okay, mother. Feng Zhangxia smiled even more happily, seeing that Hu Chunhua was finally convinced by her. Now that the third branch is about to move out, Hu Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan will also have to move out when they build a house. Would have 2 rooms have 2 roomses have a house have a house. Since Zhao Tianhu was about to get married, they definitely had to build a house for Zhao Tianhu's wedding. They couldn't wait for Zhao Tianhu to get married and squeeze in the same house with them. He had to inform Zhao Wenhua and ask Zhao Wenhua to give the empty room to Yun's first branch to be used as Zhao Tianhu's wedding room. Thinking that the matter of the room could be resolved, Feng Zhangxia's original worry dissipated. She had to inform the second and fourth branches before they left, lest the second and third branches snatch it away. Feng Zhangxia hurried to Zhao Wenhua and said to Zhao Wenhua, third brother, eldest sister-in-law has something to discuss with you. Chapter 1623. Feng Zhangxia seemed a little embarrassed as she said, that. Third brother, you know that Tianhu is about to get married. But we don't have that many rooms when we're all living together. Your third branch is about to move out of old Zhao's house and live in such a big house. After you move out, can you give Tianhu's house to use as his wedding room? After Zhao Wenhua heard this, if her sister-in-law hadn't come over to ask for their third branch's house because of Zhao Tianhu, she probably wouldn't have agreed. She thought about how her nephew, Zhao Tianhu, treated her third branch very well and would help them out whenever they needed. Now that Zhao Tianhu was about to get married and lacked a house, and since her third branch was about to move out, it wasn't impossible to give a house to Zhao Tianhu. Zhao Wenhua thought for a moment before nodding and saying, eldest sister-in-law, that's fine. After we move out, the room will be used as Tianhu's wedding room. After hearing Zhao Wenhua's words, Feng Zhangxia happily thanked him and said, third brother, thank you so much. Our Tianhu's wedding room problem is finally solved. Otherwise, I don't know how to get a house for him. Zhao Wenhua's mouth twitched. Eldest sister-in-law, you don't have to thank me. I'm not doing this for your sake. It's Tianhu who finally got married. As his uncle, I naturally have to help if I can. Feng Zhangxia's face was full of smiles. Then I still have to thank third brother. When we go back, help Tianhu decorate. Hee, the two children's wedding day is approaching. We have to prepare well. Zhao Wenhua responded, yes, we have to prepare. The sooner we marry the girl, the sooner we can. But there's something on my mind. Tianhu isn't young anymore. Ha, that's right. Feng Zhangxia smiled and agreed. The villagers gathered in front of Zhao Yun'er's house for a while. Seeing that it was almost time for lunch, they began to disperse one by one. Zhao Yun'er looked at the house that had been built. Tomorrow, she would go to the town and bring back all the furniture. After that, she would be able to move in. It had only been 2 days since they moved out of old Zhao's courtyard. When the time came to move into a big house, life would be much better. At the very least, they wouldn't have to squeeze into a small, run-down house. After making do for a period of time, he finally got through it. Zhao Yun'er had purposely added another floor to the brick house to make it into a loft. Therefore, living in such a house would not be as stuffy as living in a small thatched cottage because there was an extra floor above. He would not feel uncomfortable when he had to urinate, defecate, or heat stroke. As for tomorrow, after the furniture was brought back and the decorations were done, she would invite her family to have a banquet to celebrate. There was no need to invite anyone else for the banquet. Old Zhao's family was enough. This was the custom of the countryside. Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua had mentioned it before. It was not difficult to organize a simple banquet. She just had to buy more side dishes to maintain the meal. There was no need for the dishes to be too good. Some fish was already considered a sumptuous meal. The house was empty and there was nothing to see. Zhao Yun'er called Zhao Wenshui and Liang Jinxiao back. On the way back, Zhao Ping'er looked at Zhao Yun'er with hidden bitterness. She wished she could rush up and fight with Zhao Yun'er. She also knew that she had not fully recovered from her injuries. It was probably impossible for her to deal with Zhao Yun'er. She could only grit her teeth and endure it. Chapter 1624. Since Liang Jinxiao ignored her, Zhao Ping'er panicked. Zhao Ping'er chased after Liang Jinxiao and asked, "Mother, are you still angry with me because of what happened just now?" "Mother, don't be angry with me. This matter is not my fault alone. Wasn't it that brat Tichue who snatched it from me?" "Mother, look, I fell on my buttocks again. It hurts so much. I think it tore my wound." As Zhao Ping'er spoke, she tugged at Liang Jinxiao's sleeve and looked at Liang Jinxiao with an aggrieved expression. If it weren't for the fact that there were people around, she would have taken off her pants and exposed her buttocks for Liang Jinxiao to take a look. She wasn't lying. She was seriously injured. Liang Jinxiao glanced at Zhao Ping'er. Zhao Ping'er's words still showed no signs of repentance. Liang Jinxiao felt that she had done nothing wrong. This made Liang Jinxiao feel very tired. What she feared the most was Zhao Ping'er's unrepentant attitude. How could she forgive her easily if she didn't even know what she had done wrong? This girl, she had spoiled her too much and treated her too well. That was why she had developed such an insensible character. Sometimes, she didn't know what she should do and what she shouldn't do. You should reflect on yourself. Liang Jinxiao pulled her sleeve out of Su'er's hand. Zhao Ping'er was stunned. She didn't expect Liang Jinxiao to be serious with her. Looking at the situation, Liang Jinxiao wouldn't be able to recover in a short time. Zhao Ping'er pursed her lips and said, "Mother." Liang Jinxiao took a deep breath and said to Zhao Ping'er, "In 2 days, our third branch will move to the big house. At that time, it will be inconvenient for you to live there. After all, this house was built by Yun'. You two sisters like to quarrel when you are together. If you quarrel later, it will affect the harmony. You've almost fully recovered these days. Mother thinks you can go back to your in-laws' home. Liang Jinxiao meant that he wanted to drive Zhao Ping away. Zhao Ping did not expect that Liang Jinxiao would take the initiative to chase her away. She hadn't enjoyed enough of this good life yet. She wouldn't be so happy if she returned to her in-laws' home. Zhao Ping pursed her lips and said to Liang Jinxiao, "Mother, I haven't recovered from my injury yet. I don't know when I'll recover. I haven't lived in such a good house yet. What's wrong with letting me live there for a while?" After hearing Zhao Ping's words, Liang Jinxiao hardened his heart and said, "That won't do. You haven't lived there before. Go back and save up money to build a house. This is Yun's house. Even father and mother can't bring you to live there. Tomorrow, you can pack up and go back to your in-laws' home." Liang Jinxiao knew very well that if Zhao Ping and Zhao Yun lived together, there would be chaos. Moreover, Zhao Ping was insensible. Who knew what kind of trouble she would cause? It was better to let Zhao Ping go back to her in-laws' home early so that she wouldn't cause trouble later. During this period, Zhao Ping had almost fully recovered from her injury. It shouldn't be a big deal when she returned to her in-laws' home. Zhao Ping wanted to say something, but she was interrupted by Liang Jinxiao. "All right, Ping, you don't have to say anything. It's settled then." Zhao Ping was reluctant, but Liang Jinxiao was insistent. This was the first time his attitude was so unyielding. There was nothing she could do. She could only say, "All right then. Mother, but I'm going back tomorrow. You have to cook a good meal for me today, right? I don't know how long I'll have to wait before I come back." Chapter 1625. Upon hearing Zhao Ping's words, Liang Jinxiao frowned. She had indeed promised Zhao Ping that she would kill a big rooster and fry it for her to eat. However, Zhao Ping had been bitten by Little Hay and caused a commotion, so the matter was left unsettled. She had not thought of killing a rooster for Zhao Ping to eat during this period of time. Now, Zhao Ping had actually brought it up again. Liang Jinxiao was silent for a moment, unwilling to do so. She was still a little angry when she thought of the commotion Zhao Ping had caused today. This girl better not be too nice to her. Zhao Ping continued to stare at Liang Jinxiao eagerly and coaxed Liang Jinxiao, "Mother, I'm leaving tomorrow, so please don't be so calculative with me. When I return to my in-laws' house, I won't have such good food to eat, so I'll definitely miss our family's food. Mother, can't you satisfy me before I leave?" Liang Jinxiao did not say anything. Zhao Ping tugged at Liang Jinxiao again and said, "Mother, you can't go back on your word." Seeing Zhao Ping pestering her like this, Liang Jinxiao felt a little helpless. She knew that if Zhao Ping did not get to eat, she would probably make a fuss again. Thinking that Zhao Ping would be leaving tomorrow, this rooster would be a farewell gift for Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping would definitely not have anything good to eat when she returned to her in-laws' house, so her life would be miserable. Liang Jinxiao sighed and said, "All right then, Ping, girl, I'll catch a big rooster for you to eat tomorrow." "Mother, aren't we going to have a chicken dinner tomorrow when we enter the house? If there's something else to eat, why would we eat a big rooster?" Liang Jinxiao frowned and said to Zhao Ping, Ping, what do you mean? If you don't know how to eat rooster and leave, what chance do you have to eat it?" Zhao Ping licked her lips and replied with a grin, "Mother, why don't we eat it today? It just so happens that there aren't any good dishes today." Because the men who had been working had finished their work and gone back. When the workers were here, the third branch had to prepare some good dishes. Now that the workers were gone, the third branch naturally didn't have to prepare such a sumptuous meal. At noon, he casually prepared some food to deal with it. The quality of the food immediately dropped by a lot. Zhao Ping missed the days when the workers were still around. At least she could eat a lot every day and live a happy life. Thinking about all kinds of delicious dishes, Zhao Ping could feel her mouth watering. Then, she couldn't help but swallow. Liang Jinxiao said, "Ping, girl, how can we roast a big rooster today? We let the rooster out in the morning when we woke up. Where can we catch a chicken and roast it? Mother, I'll go back and look for it later. When I find it, I can catch it and roast it, right? Can you catch it? Mother, if I can't catch it, then I won't eat it. But if I catch it, you have to cook it for me tonight, okay? All right then. If you can catch it, I'll cook it for you tonight. If not, we'll talk about it later. Okay. Zhao Ping agreed eagerly. When she thought of the fragrance of the braised rooster, she craved it even more. Even if she was going home, it was a good thing that she could eat a good meal before going home. Otherwise, when she thought of the family Qin food, Zhao Ping would stay at old Zhao's house and refuse to leave. Life had been difficult these days. She hadn't been able to earn money in Sun City. Her body couldn't take it anymore, and Ma Xiaofeng also had to stay at home to recuperate. They could only set up a stall to sell breakfast in Sun City after both of them had recovered. Chapter 1626. Zhao Ping was worried that not only would the family Qin refuse to serve her, but they would also mock and ridicule her. Their attitude would be very bad. If that happened, how would she be able to live happily in the family Qin? The thing she hoped for the most now was for her and Ma Xiaofeng to get better quickly. Then, she could set up a stall in Yang City to sell breakfast and earn more money back. After talking to Zhao Ping, Liang Jinxiao did not continue to talk to Zhao Ping. His attitude remained cold and indifferent. Zhao Yun walked to the side. When she saw Liang Jinxiao's attitude, she had some thoughts in her mind. It seemed that her mother was dissatisfied with Zhao Ping. Her attitude was much worse than before. If something else happened, Liang Jinxiao would probably be even more disappointed in Zhao Ping. Not only would he have a cold attitude towards Zhao Ping, but he might also ignore Zhao Ping. Zhao Yun naturally hoped that they would not interact with each other for the rest of their lives. However, what could make Liang Jinxiao so estranged from Zhao Ping? It had to be something big. Zhao Yun rubbed her chin and thought for a while. Unfortunately, she could not think of anything at the moment. However, the change in Liang Jinxiao's attitude towards Zhao Ping had already made Zhao Yun feel gratified. She believed that as long as she gave some advice to Liang Jinxiao would definitely understand. As for Zhao Ping, she eagerly rushed back to old Zhao's house and looked for the rooster around old Zhao's house. Once she found it, she had to catch it to bring it back and cook it. Most of the chickens in the countryside were free-range. Sometimes, there was not much food for the chickens to eat. If the chickens were released, they could find some wild vegetables and insects to eat. This way, they could save a lot of food. Moreover, this kind of chicken would taste very delicious. When Zhao Yun'er came to ancient times, the only thing she was happy about was that she could eat a lot of natural food in ancient times. Whether it was vegetables or poultry, they were all far more delicious than those of the 21st century. Zhao Ping looked around old Zhao's house and finally found the rooster raised by the third branch. At this time, the rooster was under the wooden basin, together with a few hens. Its head was down, and its beak was pecking at the ground, as if it was looking for food. Zhao Ping's eyes lit up when she saw the rooster. She slowly approached the rooster, preparing to catch it. Because she was afraid that the rooster would run away, Zhao Ping tried her best not to disturb the rooster. Just as he was about to reach the rooster heard the noise and prepared to flee. Zhao Ping was afraid that if the rooster ran away, she would be caught again, so she rushed towards the rooster. The rooster opened its wings and flew away, avoiding Zhao Ping's grab. Zhao Ping didn't catch the rooster, but she did a somersault and fell heavily to the ground. She ate a mouthful of dirt with her head down. Pay pay pay. Zhao Ping hurriedly spat out a few times, spitting out the dirt in her mouth. After being tormented like this, Zhao Ping was a little angry and cursed. Why am I so unlucky today? Everyone is bullying me. Now even a rooster is going against me. I have to catch it, pluck all its feathers, and braise it to eat. With some difficulty, Zhao Ping got up from the ground. She used her sleeve to wipe her face, and her gaze fell on the rooster not far away. The rooster seemed to have sensed danger, and its footsteps were very messy, as if it didn't know where to go. Chapter 1627. However, to Zhao Ping's disappointment, when she pounced on it again, the rooster ran away again. The rooster seemed to have received a huge shock, and it flew up to the tree branch. Looking at the tall tree, Zhao Ping stood under it, her heart filled with despair. She couldn't catch it on the ground, and now that the rooster had flown up the tree, it was even more impossible to catch it. Zhao Ping couldn't help but vent her anger. Standing under the tree, she scolded, "You stinky chicken, hurry up and come down. If you don't come down, I'm going to climb up there." Hearing Zhao Ping's dangerous words, the rooster couldn't understand. However, Zhao Ping's voice was very loud, and it frightened the rooster. The rooster crowed incessantly on the tree. Zhao Ping became even angrier. "I told you to come down, but you didn't listen. What are you chirping about? Do you think I'll let you go and not eat you if you keep chirping like that? Let me tell you, don't even think about it. If you come down earlier, I can make you suffer a little more. Otherwise, when I catch you, I'll slowly torture you to death." The rooster cried out a few more times on the tree. At this moment, there was no one watching. If there was someone watching, they would probably think that Zhao Ping was crazy. How could an animal understand what she was talking about? The result of an animal not being able to understand human language was that any kind of terrifying threat would be useless. Zhao Ping stood under the tree angrily. "You stinky chicken, you're not being kind. Do you think you'll be fine after hiding from me on the tree? Hee, let me tell you, I'll catch you today. If you don't come down, I'll guard this tree until you come down. I don't believe that you can stay on the tree forever." At this time, Liang Jinxiao saw that Zhao Ping hadn't come back for a while, so he went out to look for Zhao Ping. Although he was angry at Zhao Ping, he thought that Zhao Ping was pregnant. If the child in her belly was hurt, it would be a big problem. When he found Zhao Ping, he saw Zhao Ping standing under the tree. The rooster was on the tree, and it was crying out as if it was greatly frightened. Liang Jinxiao saw this situation and frowned. He said to Zhao Ping, "Since the rooster has run up the tree, I don't think we can catch it today. Let's forget it." Zhao Ping felt that Liang Jinxiao must be reluctant to let the rooster go. She was afraid that if she missed this opportunity, it wouldn't be easy to eat it next time. She stubbornly refused. "No, mother, I must catch this chicken today." Liang Jinxiao saw that Zhao Ping began to be willful again, and he was displeased. "You child, why do you have to be so stubborn? You can't catch it, but you still want to catch it. It's a waste of effort." Zhao Ping pursed her lips and said, "Mother, it's a waste of effort. It's my effort that's wasted, not yours. What are you worried about?" Liang Jinxiao found that he couldn't win against Zhao Ping. This child just wouldn't listen to him. No matter how much he said, it would be useless, so he might as well not say anything. He calmly replied to Zhao Ping, "If you want to catch it, then catch it." Even if Zhao Ping insisted and waited to catch it, Zhao Ping wouldn't be able to catch it. After all, the rooster had flown up the tree. How could Zhao Ping catch it? Okay.